close the door with the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike three.
Lined into left field for a base hit. Hit in the air. That's going to be the second baseman. They have a chance for two, and they got him.
Run, the throw is in time for the out.
Lifted high into left field. Ball is way back, and that ball is way gone.
Halsted Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on yourliveevent.com.
And a pleasant good Tuesday afternoon from Kindred. This is Region 1 Softball today here on yourliveevent.com, featuring a pair of top 10 ranked teams in the latest coaches poll with the Central Cass Squirrels and alongside the Kindred Vikings. I'm Chase Miller. Welcome to our pregame show, brought to you in part by Irie Insurance. Get the insurance protection you want with the customer service that you deserve. You can go online to IrieInsurance.com. That again is IrieInsurance.com to get a free quote started today. For the Kindred Vikings, 9-4 so far in this season, 7-1 in Region 1 play. Well, for the Central Cass Squirrels, 7-4 on the season and 6-1 in Region 1 play. The Squirrels and the Vikings right now, this is a battle essentially of who's going to be the 1 and who will be the 2 seed barring the outcome here today. The lone loss for the Central Cass Squirrels comes to the hands of Northern Cass. Well, for the Kindred Vikings, their lone loss so far in the region comes at the hands of the Central Cass Squirrels. We'll continue on our Irie Insurance pregame show after this, getting closer to the starting lineups and the opening pitch here today, which is scheduled for the bottom of the hour. Blustery conditions here in Kindred, maybe not as much as what it was yesterday for our twin bill between Northern Cass and alongside the Kindred-Richland Vikings when it came to the baseball complex. Yesterday, just a little bit south from here, but so far here today, some rain showers have got through earlier in the afternoon, but here it's not too shabby in Kindred, all things considered, with how the field conditions have looked into where we are right now here in this particular contest. But currently here in the Kindred and surrounding area, overcast skies, currently 63 degrees with some blustery wind conditions that's kind of coming in from left field. So anyone out to left today will be a little bit more challenging. Playing one into center and right also with the lazy fly ball could be a little bit interesting as well. We'll take a quick break. When we come back after this, we'll continue on our Irie Insurance pregame show here today as Central Cass is taking some infield here in their black uniforms, with the Kindred Vikings will be doing so here in a moment in their white and blue uniforms. This is our Irie Insurance pregame show here from Kindred.
Central Cass Schools' mission is to foster student excellence in cooperation with family and community and to provide educational opportunities in a safe and caring environment. Thank you to everyone who has helped make this mission a reality. The STEM Center, Theater, Music Wing, Early Childhood Center, Wellness Center, and Athletic Complex will help set students up for success in school and life after graduation. They wish everyone at Central Cass good luck this year with academics and activities as you grow into the new space and move forward with excellence.
At Enbridge, we believe sustainability is the foundation of our success. How well we perform as a steward of our environment, a safe operator of essential energy infrastructure, a good neighbor, and a diverse employer defines our success. Learn more about Enbridge's environmental, social, and governance commitments and our Indigenous Reconciliation Plan at enbridge.com.
Honesty, loyalty, integrity. At Bank North, we've remained true to these values for generations. They shape the way we do business, work with customers, and support our communities. We've been here for more than a century, helping people grow farms and businesses, finance homes, and pursue their dreams. It's values-based banking, and it's all about working together to strengthen the common threads that bind us together. Bank North, always true.
Not everyone can get Secret Service level protection, but with Irie Insurance you can. You see, we've got your back, protecting homes, vehicles, businesses, crops, and so much more. Ensuring you've got the protection you need and all your questions answered faster than you can say classified information. Get protected. Get Irie Insurance. Go to IrieInsurance.com for a free quote and consultation.
As we continue on our pregame show, brought to you in part by Irie Insurance, it's now the Vikings of the Kindred-Richland faithful have now taken the field for their infield here. Contest scheduled to start in about 10 minutes from now, so let's get to the starting lineups after we take a look at what happened earlier here in the season. Back on April the 22nd in Castleton, the Central Cass Squirrels picked up a 2-1 victory here over the Kindred-Richland Vikings. So with a win here today for Central Cass, everything will be in their favor moving forward to try to be the number 1 seed heading to the Region 1 softball tournament, which begins a week from Saturday. That'll be in Castleton, and we'll have it for you here on yourliveevent.com. Well, for the Kindred-Richland Vikings, the same thing can be said with a win on their side. They pick up the W. They have the inside track at being the number 1 seed and the regular season champs. Regardless of the outcome here today for both of these squads, one will be the 1, one will be the 2, taking a look at that Region 1 tournament moving forward, and we will go through those standings a little bit later on here in the broadcast. But first, let's take a look at the starting lineups first for the visitors from the Central Cass Squirrels, head coached by Scott Koss. They'll roll like this. In the circle here this afternoon will be Whitney Mitchell and batting leadoff. Sophie Sherwhite will be batting second in center. Grace Fletchock will be batting third at short. Brady Miss Bussey will be at first base here, as again Bussey will be at first batting cleanup. Aspen Prane will be batting fifth and catching here. Olivia Haugen, the second baseman, batting sixth. Natalie Fontaine, the designated hitter here, will be batting seventh. Maddie Stieg will be batting eighth, and the third baseman, Paige Wixo, batting ninth in left field, and she will be batting ninth. Then playing right field will be Kira Gunnifson here in right today for the Central Cass Squirrels. So again, for the Squirrels, Mitchell, Sherwhite, Fletchock, Bussey, Preen, Haugen, Fontaine with Stieg, Wixo, and Gunnifson. We'll take a quick break. When we come back after this, we'll take a look at the Vikings lineup when we return here on yourliveevent.com.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in North Dakota, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Hungry and on the road, Petro Stopping Center in Fargo has got your back with an impressive lineup of goodies including Popeye's Chicken, Charlie's Cheesesteaks, Cinnabon, Papa John's, and a mouth-watering full-sized restaurant, the Dolly Down Grill. You'll be spoiled for choice. Whether you're a quick pit stopper or looking to settle in for a while, Petro Stopping Center's Fargo location has got you covered 24/7 every day of the week. Cruise on over to their spot just off 45th Street and I-94 and indulge in a feast fit for the road warrior in you.
For trusted news, weather, and sports from your community, look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated. KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio and rjbroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. Your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio and rjbroadcasting.com. Local voices from local radio.
This is Chris from RDK Enterprises, your local precision planting dealer. This spring has been a trying time, and we may feel everything is out of our control. Please remember to slow down and stay safe this spring. Come home to your families each and every night. Please use this time to make sure your planter is ready to go. Keep downtime to a minimum. When you get into the fields, we are here to help you with any planting issues that may come up. RDK Enterprises, 636-2119 or planterdoc.com.
As we continue on our pregame show, brought to you in part by Irie Insurance. Get the insurance protection you want with the customer service that you deserve. They cover it all from home, auto, crop, commercial, and benefits insurance. Go to IrieInsurance.com to get a free quote started today. For the Kindred-Richland Vikings, they'll roll like this. Starting leadoff will be the center fielder in Jansen Jordheim. Elena Schmitz will be batting second in left field here. Schmitz again for the Vikings will be playing in left. Leah Rowland, the starting shortstop, will be batting third. Then Cora Johnson, the first baseman, will be batting in the cleanup spot here for the Vikings. Danica Rath in the circle batting fifth. Brea Mount, the second baseman, batting sixth here today, with Mackenzie Fuchsa batting seventh. Avery Ammerman will be playing third and batting eighth. Fuchsa behind the plate, and Jenna Tazark will be in right field batting ninth here for the Vikings. So one more time for Sam Brandt's club: Jordheim, Schmitz, with Rowland, Johnson, Rath, Mauk, Fuchsa, Ammerman, and Tazark here for the Kindred-Richland Vikings. The Region 1 standings, as we mentioned, Kindred-Richland and Central Cass top of the region with a couple of games from the third place team of Hankinson Co-op, Enderlin, and Hillsborough Central Valley, all at 2-4 here so far on the season, entering play today. Northern Cass in 6th at 2-6, and then you have the play-in game of 6 versus 7. Maple River playing mostly a junior varsity schedule here this season, so they will be the 7, and they will travel to the number 6 seed once the Region 1 softball tournament gets underway next week. Everything makes its way to Hankinson a week from Saturday. We will have all the games on that Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday here on YourLiveEvent.com for our video broadcast. And the state softball tournament will be in Jamestown alongside with baseball in Class B. Class A will be in Dickinson. So the two coaches come up with our umpiring crew here with Scott Kotz and alongside with Sam Brandt to go through their respective starting lineups. Again, that's a look at the starting lineups. So when we return, we'll get ready for the first pitch here from Kindred. Let you know what's still yet to come today on YourLiveEvent.com. The Hatton Northwood Hillsborough Central Valley baseball game in Hillsborough at 5:30. That has been postponed due to some of the rains from last night and into the afternoon hours. So that game has been postponed. And now with postponements and cancellations of region games running out of daylight and running out of days, so to speak, with those tournaments beginning next week. Also, we'll have the Region 1 baseball tournament for you here on YourLiveEvent.com. Playing game begins on Tuesday, and then we'll have all the games starting on Thursday in Castleton for those 4 games on Thursday and those 4 games on Friday as well, before it gets to that championship on Monday and then, if needed, on Tuesday. But a week from Thursday will be the Region 1 baseball tournament in Castleton here on YourLiveEvent.com. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue here on closing in on the opening pitch on our pregame show, brought to you in part by Irie Insurance. Between the Squirrels and the Vikings, this is Region 1 softball.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Farmers Union Insurance, protecting what's important in life.
Your local Castleton agents, Scott Kramer and Tyler Wasleen, wish the Squirrels the best of luck this postseason. Since its beginning, the Central Cass Booster Club has generated and helped sustain fan interest in the men's and women's athletic programs at Central Cass High School. Through the years, that mission has broadened to also enhance the youth programs throughout the community. For more information, search Central Cass Booster Club on Facebook or email centralcassboosterclub@gmail.com. That's centralcassboosterclub@gmail.com. Go Squirrels!
Homegrown local radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
That again does it for our pregame show, brought to you in part by Irie Insurance. Go to IrieInsurance.com to get a free quote started today. Again, that's all at Irie Insurance. Chase Miller with you here from Kindred. We will have the Vikings and the Squirrels on Friday in Castleton for Region 1 baseball. James Martins will have the call for you on that one roughly around the 5 o'clock hour. That'll be in Castleton between the Vikings and the Squirrels in a very similar situation to these softball teams. They are vying for a top 1, 2, or possibly 3 after Northern Cass and Kindred-Richland split yesterday in baseball. That pretty much unified the Squirrels, Northern Cass, and Kindred-Richland being 1, 2, 3 in no particular order right now. Now it's just jostling for that seed position before the baseball tournament begins next week. And it's the same thing here on the softball side of things. Stepping in, here will be Whitney Mitchell, the pitcher against Danica Rath here for the Kindred-Richland Vikings. Opening pitch slated for at 4:30, and it is 4:30. Righty-righty matchup. Brass first offering is this one's going to be swung on back up the middle. Played there by the second baseman in time for the putout. Mauk to Johnson. 4-3 on the putout. 1 pitch and 1 down. Hammerman at third base with Rowland at short. Brea Mauk gets tested early here on the first pitch at second with Johnson at first and Fuchsa behind the plate. Schmitz in left, Jordheim in center, and Tazarek in right here for the Vikings defensively. Here's the pitch. This one will be up high for a ball. Now 1-0 to Sophie Sherwhite, the center fielder here for the Central Cass Squirrels. Righty-righty matchup again. Here's the pitch by Rath. This one's going to be hit on the ground. Playable for the shortstop in Rowland. Goes across the diamond. Dug out nicely by Johnson. 6-3. And the middle infield flashing the leather early here for the Vikings. Part of a little bit of a multi-cam setup here today in Kindred. And the skies are starting to open up a little bit here as well as we get some sunshine coming on through. Danica Rath now going up against Fletchock. This one will miss up high for a ball at 1-0. The Central Cass Squirrels made it to the state tournament every year that was sanctioned in North Dakota outside of last year, falling at this very field. As this one's be off Danica Rath. This will go to Mauk. Mauk underhands it and does a nice job. 1-4-3 on the putout, and that'll retire the side. We'll get to that thought here in a moment when we come back. Again, so far through the half inning, it's scoreless for Central Cass with the Vikings coming to the plate here on your liveevent.com. Stop on out to Watts Ace Hardware in Castleton and gear up with name brands from Steel, Milwaukee, Ego, and Craftsman Power Tools. Plus, Watts Ace Hardware has a key cutting and paint mixing section for your own do-it-yourself projects. From their grill selection with Traeger, Blackstone, Weber, and the Big Green Egg to their customer laser engraving center, Watts Ace Hardware is a place you need to check out. Stop in at 1610 Governor's Drive in Castleton for Watts Ace Hardware. 1, 2, 3, top of the first. We'll see what the bottom of the first has in store on our Bank North scoreboard here for the Kindred-Richland Vikings. Jansen Jordheim, Elena Schmitz, and Leah Rowland will be batting first, second, and third. Again, going back to what we said prior to the out to finish it off there with Grace Fletchock. Central Cass made it to state every year except last year where they fell short to Hillsborough Central Valley on this very field to try to get to that Region 1 championship. As first pitch to Jansen Jordheim is going to be to the backstop here as Whitney Mitchell is in the circle for the Central Cass Squirrels. So now both the Kindred-Richland Vikings and the Central Cass Squirrels have the most state tournament appearances in softball in Class B at 10 all-time in program history. Here's the righty-righty matchup. Mitchell, this one misses up high, now 2-0. Wixo in left with Sherwhite in center, and Gunnifson is in right field. Wixo again in left. We'll get to the infield after this pitch. 2 balls, no strikes to the leadoff batter here in Jansen Jordheim, the starting center fielder. Swung on and missed. Now it's 2-1. Stieg at third base with Fletchock at short. You have Haugen at second and Bussey with first base duties and Preen behind the plate. This one is in there for a strike. Good location after falling behind the count. 2 balls and no strikes. Back-to-back strikes by Mitchell. And now it's a 2-2 pitch. Pitch number 5 here in the at-bat for Whitney Mitchell. Mitchell, this one will miss up and we'll have a full count. Central Cass in their all-black uniforms with the red numerals and lettering outlined in white with squirrels across the front. For the Kindred-Richland Vikings in their white tops with those blue pinstripes with the blue pants. Here's the 3-2. And that'll be strike 3 looking, and the first strikeout recorded here for Mitchell in the circle. So after falling behind 2-0 in the count, able to come back and pound the strike zone there, and now it's Elena Schmidt, the left fielder, batting second for the Vikings, due up next. The goal for both of these teams this season is trying to find their way to Jamestown. This one, check swing in there for a strike. Now it's going to be 0-1. Seeing the growth, a little bit of softball. Now the question is how much more will it continue to grow, or are we seeing maybe a little bit of a plateau on the eastern side of the state, particularly with Region 1, as this one is in there for a strike at 0-2. Seeing Maple River now make their varsity program and kind of have JV the last couple of seasons, see when they can make that full jump potentially into having a full-fledged varsity campaign, having 7 varsity teams. Here's the pitch on the way. Swung on and missed, and Schmitz is retired via the strikeout as well. Back-to-back Ks for Mitchell in the circle, and there's 2 down here on our Bank North scoreboard. But Thompson, Mayport, CG, Grafton looking pretty good in Region 2 this season. You take a look out west again, the Renvilles and the Beulahs of the world who've been pretty solid with the Lax Burlington for the Lakers. This one is going to miss up in the zone at 1-0 for the first time ever in Class B softball. Just over a decade, a team from the West won the state tournament in the Beulah Miners instead of a team from the East with Kindred-Richland, Central Cass, or the old Enderlin Eagles able to win the first one ever. This one is smoked to right over Haugen, and that's going to be an inside-out swing for Roland, and she's aboard with a 2-out single. So the Kindred-Richland Vikings with the first base runner of the late afternoon, early evening, and now Cora Johnson will dig in here batting cleanup. Good job by Roland. That one just fisted off and able to hit that and shoot it to right field. And a lot of times that we've seen over the years here for both of these clubs, willing to run, and Roland will stay put this time. This one in there for a strike to Johnson, now 0-1. 4 batters up, 2 times Mitchell has got ahead, and twice she's fallen behind. Bussey playing in at first a little bit here, off speed in the dirt. That'll miss low, now 1-1. Minnesota Twins back in action against the Seattle Mariners later tonight. And the Timberwolves will take a 2-0 series lead into the Target Center beginning on Friday against the Denver Nuggets when it comes to Minnesota professional sports. Here's the 1-1 offering on the way. Check swing. There's the throw down to first. They got Roland in a pickle, but this gets by Bussey and kind of hanging there. Moving their way will be Roland. As Roland will take second here, and now for the first time today, the Vikings will have a runner in scoring position. As we got the count taken care of here, so it'll be 1 ball and 2 strikes on the way here to Johnson, but Roland now in scoring position. Whitney Mitchell one good pitch away from getting out of the inning, while on the opposite side, Johnson, something through the infield will more than likely score Roland. The 1-2, this will go all the way to the backstop. Roland will make her way to third, and now the Vikings have a runner 60 feet away, and a 2-ball, 2-strike count coming here to Johnson. That's been Preen behind the plate. Now the runner in Roland has made her way from first all the way to third with 2 outs. 2-2, strike 3 looking to retire the side. No runs on a hit, no errors, and a runner left on base. 1 complete on our Bank North scoreboard. We're scoreless here in Kindred on your liveevent.com. Region 1 softball here today from Kindred between the Squirrels and the Vikings here on yourliveevent.com. Taking a look at the Central Cass Squirrels so far here this season. Couple losses early. Their season opener against Northern Cass 4-2. Took care of business against Enderlin in game number 2. Lost 14-3 against Jamestown on April the 20th and lost by 1 to Fargo North, both of them in Class A. And then since then, they've rattled off wins against the Vikings, the Burros, the Jags, Fargo, Davies by 6. They swept the Pirates, and they lost to Thompson their last time out on May the 4th, 1-0 on that Saturday morning at Coss Field in Castleton. So that's a look at the Squirrels so far here this season as Bussey steps in and falls behind the count now at 0-1. Danica Rath winds. This one will be up now. Will be 1-1. Rath was able to get 3 consecutive groundouts on Mitchell Sherwhite, and then Fletchock hit one right off the glove of Danica Rath, but to the second baseman Mauk as this one is fisted over the first baseman. That'll be a fair ball, and that one doesn't get hit far, but it's perfect placement here for Bussey as she gets the first hit of the afternoon here for the Squirrels. Got jammed right there, but Bussey did a good job of muscling that one over Johnson at first base. And now it'll be the lefty and the catcher in Aspen Preen digging in here for Central Cass. On our Bank North scoreboard, it's values-based banking. To learn more, visit ibanknorth.com. That's ibanknorth.com. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. They're more than just a bank. They're a community partner. This one missed outside for a ball. Now Preen with a hitter's count here at 1-0. The third baseman and Ammerman about a solid 10 to 15 feet, taking away that bunt potential down the third base line. Preen bluffs the bunt, kind of choking up on the bat. She will take a strike. Now it's 1-1. Also coming down the first base line is Johnson, which means Roland will cover second from short, and the second baseman Mauk will cover first. If this one is indeed bunted, 1 ball, 1 strike count. Danica Rath looks in here to Fuchsa. The 1-1 swung on and fouled, and we'll keep it now at 1-2. Olivia Haugen due up next here for Central Cass. 4, 5, and 6 batters due up here for the Squirrels. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way from Rath. This one, a little off speed, will miss up in the zone. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes. First 2-ball count that we've seen from a Central Cass batter here. And the deepest so far with pitch number 5 of the at-bat upcoming. The 2-2. This one is fouled again, and Aspen Preen is making Danica Rath work a little bit here after Whitney Mitchell will ground it out on 1 pitch. Sophie Sherwhite grounded out on 2, and the same for Grace Fletchock. 5-pitch first inning there for Danica Rath, and Aspen Preen will be taking pitch number 6 of the at-bat. This one going to be over the glove of Fuchsa, making her way down to second. It's going to be Bussey, and the Central Cass Squirrels will get that on the pass ball. We'll have now runners, a runner in scoring position and a 3-2 count with Aspen Preen. The 3-2. This one will be a strike 3. Looking for strikeout here for Danica Rath on the bottom of the zone, and there's one down. Olivia Haugen will be digging in now for the Squirrels with a runner at second base with Bussey. Haugen playing second here today for head coach Scott Kost. Danica Rath with the pitch. This one will miss inside at the knee. Now 1-0. As the wind continues to gust and howl a little bit throughout the afternoon here in Kindred. Here's the 1-0. This one is going to be hit up the first baseline foul, just about into the Viking dugout. Now it'll be 1 ball and 1 strike. As you can see from our center field cam with some of the gusts, as that is in full view and also full in terms of any wind. Possibly moving that a little bit out in left field with no shelter belt or trees to speak of. 1 ball, 2 strikes now on the way to Olivia Haugen. Bussey at second base here. Danica Rath with the 1-2 pitch. This one's going to be grounded up the third base line. Danica Rath fields it, fires, and it's going to not be in time. It's an infield single on the way here for Haugen. Runners will be at the corners with 1 down. So good job hustling right out of the shoot here for Haugen. Danica Rath fielded it, but by the time she was able to glove it and fire it over, Haugen was able to get to first base, and Mackenzie Fuchsa will take a quick timeout and talk with the infield here to make sure they got the play on. Anytime we got runners at the corners when it comes to high school baseball or high school softball, that old double steal sometimes can possibly be in effect. And with wind conditions like this, runs could potentially be hard to come by. As Natalie Fontaine, the designated hitter, digs in now for the Squirrels. Runners at first and second, one down here. Fontaine looks to bunt. The runner from first, Haugen, will make her way, and she's going to be out at second base. So there's going to be a strike now to Fontaine. Caught stealing is Haugen at second. And now there's two down here in the second. So designated hitter Fontaine trying to put something in the outfield here to bring Bussey in from third. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and missed. Now it's 0-2. For the Vikings, they'll be sending Rath, Mauk, and Fuchsa. 5, 6, and 7 batters due up in the bottom half of the second inning. 0-2 pitch on the way. This is fouled, and we'll keep it at no balls and 2 strikes. Region 1 baseball yesterday in Kindred. Northern Cass and Kindred-Richland split their doubleheader. Region 1 softball here today features the Squirrels and the Vikings. 0-2 pitch. Fontaine got her. Danica Rath pulls the string. Fontaine with the check swing. The second strikeout of the inning to retire the side. There were no runs on 2 hits. There was no errors and 1 runner left on base. An inning and a half complete here from Kindred as we head to the bottom of the second inning with the Vikings coming to the plate.
It's the most prestigious, challenging, rewarding tour on dirt. The most wanted, baddest outlaws, and the most powerful late models on the planet. The world of outlaws, Case Late Models.
Taking a look at the Kindred-Richland Vikings schedule so far this season. Began the year at the Minot State Bubble with a 5-run win over Velva Drake Adamoose. Lost then to Delax Burlington, Lewis and Clark. And then also lost against the defending champs in the Beulah Miners. Since then, picked up wins over Hankinson, Northern Cass, lost by a run to Central Cass the last time out. Beat Enderlin twice and Hankinson one more time. Lost to Thompson by 1 last week. And then beat Northern Cass, Valley City, and Hillsborough Central Valley. So that's a look at the Vikings schedule so far here this season, as this one will miss up for a ball against Danica Rath. Rath, Mauk, and Fuchsa here. Again, the 5, 6, and 7 batters due up for the Kindred-Richland Vikings. Mitchell with the 1-0. This one will miss low at the knee. Now 2 balls and no strikes. So a 3-ball count and a 2-ball count against Jordheim and Johnson. Here's a 2-0 count with Whitney Mitchell. This one is slashed, and look out, as that one was just about as close as you could get to the dugout there, as hopefully everyone is all right. That was a line drive that came right across the way where there's the railing, and that might have hit a little bit of maybe a forearm, but everyone looks to be okay in the Viking dugout. The 2-1 pitch. This one's going to be fouled back and out of play. Now it'll be 2-2. Well, you got to kind of lean maybe about 4 feet high. That was maybe 4 feet and about 2 inches up as everybody kind of scattered in that Viking dugout. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. Whitney Mitchell against Danica Rath, pitcher versus pitcher here in the second. The 2-2. This one is going to be hit in the air. That's to left center field. The wind will bring this one down with Paige Wixo, and Wixo is able to glove it there for the out. So Wixo is retired on a fly out to left field. Rath got a good part of it, but with how the wind is blowing here today, that one just kind of came in and denting it down a little bit. If you're going to get one out to left, you got to take all of it, as Brian Mauk will dig in now, the 6th batter in the lineup here for the Vikings with 1 down in the second. This one will miss up for a ball. Now 1-0. Region 1 softball here today from Kindred. Again, go to yourliveevent.com for more baseball and softball, and also track and field action later in the week in Ada on Thursday. This one in there for a strike at 1-1. We'll be in Ada, Minnesota the next 3 Thursdays with the Ada Borup West Invite, the subsection, and the conference meet in Ada. Also in Hillsboro for the Northeast Regional later this month. This one is fouled, and we'll now make it at 1 ball and 2 strikes. First time through the lineup. Strike out the side with Whitney Mitchell. Twice was via strike 3 looking. Leah Rowland earned a single and a fly out with Danica Rath. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Mitchell. This one is going to be hit in the air, and that's to right. This one dying, and the right fielder Gunnifson comes over. Does a nice job tailing that one with the wind a little bit, and there's 2 down now here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. If you're going to hit a fly ball today, you want to make sure you probably hit it to center, to right center with kind of where the wind is going, and not so much of a lazy fly, but something on the line with the wind gusts here today, as Mackenzie Fuchsa will take a ball at 1-0. Last season here was able to hit one over the scoreboard in left field for the Kindred-Richland Vikings during a Region 1 contest against Northern Cass. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way from Mitchell. That'll miss low for a ball. Now 2-0 with Avery Ammerman due up next for the Vikings. 2 balls, no strikes on the way to Fuchsa here, the catcher for the Vikings. Mitchell for the 2nd time falls behind here 2-0 in this inning. 2-0 will be inside miss for a ball at 3-0. For Central Cass, the bottom of the lineup was Stieg, Wixo, and then they go back to Mitchell to bat leadoff. So 8, 9, and 1 due up for the Squirrels in the top half of the 3rd inning. 3-0 pitch as Mitchell looks into Preen. The 3-0 pitch in there for a strike at 3-1. And so far, both pitchers doing a nice job mixing up a little bit of the elevation, switching the eye levels, but also some different speeds the first time through the lineup. As the 3-1 offering is upcoming. That one in there for a strike, and after falling behind the count, back-to-back strikes here for Mitchell, and now makes the count full against Fuchsa. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs and nobody on here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Here's the 3-2. That one's going to be popped up to the second baseman. Haugen is there to retire the side. A 3 up, 3 down, bottom of the 2nd inning. 2 complete on our Bank North scoreboard as we head to the top of the 3rd inning. It's scoreless here in Kindred.
It's the North Dakota All-Star Gathering on your live event, as we'll have coverage of the Shields Softball All-Star Series on June 3rd and 4th.
Closey with the 0-2 pitch.
The Optimist Volleyball Series on June 10th and 11th.
Right corner west is there for the dig backs at Bogenry for another kill.
Plus, the Lions All-Star Basketball Series on July 15th and 16th.
Really nice quality second half. Goes off the backboard for the duck to Carson Yale.
For more information, go to yourliveevent.com.
Since its beginning, the Central Cass Booster Club has generated and helped sustain fan interest in the men's and women's athletic programs at Central Cass High School. Through the years, that mission has brought in to also enhance the youth programs throughout the community. For more information, search Central Cass Booster Club on Facebook or email centralcassboosterclub@gmail.com. That's centralcassboosterclub@gmail.com. Go Squirrels! Region 1 softball here today, scoreless so far through 2 innings for Central Cass. No runs, 2 hits. They've left 1 runner on with no errors. For the Kindred-Richland Vikings, no runs, 1 hit. They've left 1 with no errors as well so far for these 2. Danica Rath and Whitney Mitchell doing a nice job so far in the circle. We'll see what will happen here with Stieg, Wixo, and Mitchell as Maddie, the 3rd baseman, starts things off here in the 3rd inning for the Central Cass Squirrels. Rath, this one is fouled up the 3rd baseline. Those will be 0-1. So no balls, 1 strike here right off the bat to the number 8 batter in this Central Cass lineup in a contest that's 24 minutes old so far here in Kindred. Here's the 0-1. That'll miss up for a ball at 1-1. A 3-up, 3 down first. A leadoff single by Bussey, and then Olivia Haugen earned a single, but was Scott stealing, so just 4 batters came to the plate in the second. This one is foul tipped, and it'll be 1-2 as Danica Rath earned 2 strikeouts in that second inning as well. So for Central Cass, Stieg will try to work the count a little bit here against Danica Rath in the top of the third. The 1-2 swung on and missed for the strikeout. Back-to-back Ks here for Rath, her third of the afternoon, and there's one down now in the top of the third inning. So one down here is Paige Wixo, the left fielder, will be digging in now for the Squirrels. This one swung on and missed. Now 0-1. Not too bad of a day, all things considered, if you hear this enough in the Red River Valley and throughout, if the wind could just not be as blustery. Here's the 0-1. Now 1 ball and 1 strike. Has a hint of summer. Can't complain with the temperature, more so just the wind of having to play through these conditions a little bit today, but we'll take it. Here's the 1-1. That'll be in there for a strike. Now at 1-2, able to get outside and play spring sports. That's the name of the game, from track and field to golf to everything in between. The 1-2, this one is going to be hit on a rope. That's to center field. Jordheim cuts it off there. It will be a 1-out single on the way for the number 9 batter in Wixo, and the third hit. All singles through the lineup against Danica Rath. So for Central Cass, they earned a leadoff single with Bussey in the second, who was stranded at third. We'll see what they're able to do with a 1-out single here in the third with Wixo, as Whitney Mitchell will dig in as she grounded out on 1 pitch to Mauk at second base, her first time up. This one is fouled up the first base line at 0-1. So second time through the lineup here for Central Cass. Danica Rath was able to get a handful of outs the first time through. 7, 3 hits, 3 strikeouts. As Fuchsa looks back to runner, now will be 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike here. Central Cass trying to mount a threat in the third inning. They were able to do so in the second. The Vikings got out of it. The 1-1 pitch is going to be hit in the air over the shortstop, Roland. Everybody will move up 60 feet. Roland did a good job hustling after that one. Jordheim able to come back and see that one come through, and now will be runners at first and second. Back-to-back singles on the way here for Central Cass, and Roland gave all that she could handle and more there to try to see if she could snare it, but now you have Wixo at second, Mitchell at first, with 1 down here in the third inning. As Sophie Sherwhite, who grounded out to Roland at short her last time up in the first. This one swung on and missed at 0-1 with Grace Fletchock due up next. Back-to-back innings for the Squirrels, where they've at least put 2 runners on here against Danica Rath. There's the 0-1. That'll miss up in the zone at 1 ball and 1 strike. For the Vikings, bottom half of the inning, they will also have their 8, 9, and 1 batters, with Avery Ammerman due up first in the bottom half of the third. Here's the 1-1 pitch. This one is going to be hit in the air to Roland. Roland tries to get the double play to Mauk to try to see if she can maybe pick off Wixo. Wixo gets back nicely. A little soft line drive there for Sophie Sherwhite, and there's 2 down here in the top of the third inning. Grace Fletchock hit one absolutely on the screws, but right back to Danica Rath. Bounced off her glove and right to Mauk at second to retire the side in the first inning. So 2 down with 2 runners on here in the top of the third. Rath, first pitch goes to Fletchock, and this one will go up the first baseline foul, and it will be 0-1. 5th batter here for Central Cass against Rath in the inning. They had 3 in the first, 4 batters in the second, and now their 5th here in the third inning. And the 0-1 pitch on the way from Rath to Fletchock. Off-speed pitch, that'll miss up. Now 1-1. Seen both pitchers do a pretty good job on that off-speed, not missing by much. Trying to pull the string, if you will. Rath with the 1-1. That'll be in there at the knee for a strike at 1-2. Runner at second is Wixo. At first is Mitchell. Fletchock behind the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 outs here. We get a time. As Rath looks into Fuchsa behind the plate, the 1-2 pitch. This one's going to be a little nubber to Mauk at second. Mauk underhands it in time with the stretch by Johnson, 4-3 to retire the side. There were no runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left, 2.5 complete on our Bank North scoreboard. It is still scoreless in Kindred here on your liveevent.com.
Central Cass Schools' mission is to foster student excellence in cooperation with family and community and to provide educational opportunities in a safe and caring environment. Thank you to everyone who has helped make this mission a reality. The STEM Center, Theater, Music Wing, Early Childhood Center, Wellness Center, and Athletic Complex will help set students up for success in school and life after graduation. They wish everyone at Central Cass good luck this year with academics and activities as you grow into the new space and move forward with excellence.
High school softball here today in Kindred. The Central Cass Squirrels and the Kindred-Richland Vikings still scoreless here, trying to see who will play that first run across. The first time they played this season back in April, it was a 2-1 win for the Central Cass Squirrels, and so far looking to play up potentially that way with the total runs or the team who maybe just needs to score a run or two here today to try to pick up the victory. For the Kindred-Richland Vikings, Avery Ammerman, Janet Tazark, and then Jansen Jordheim, the 8-9-1 batters due up here for Kindred-Richland against Whitney Mitchell. Mitchell, 2 innings of work, 1 hit. That was by Roland back in the first. 2 strikeouts so far here in the circle for the Central Cass Squirrels. As Mitchell with the pitch. This one's going to be fouled. Now at 0-1. No ball's a strike here for Mitchell as she looks into Preen behind the plate. Righty-righty matchup with Avery Ammerman. This one swung on and missed. Now 0-2. Missed any of our coverage from last year's region volleyball tournament in the fall to the region basketball tournament in the winter, or the year ago softball tournament, you can simply go to yourliveevent.com. This one's going to be hit in the air to center field. Sherwhite goes back to the track, and that one's going to one-hop the wall. Avery rounds first on her way to second, and she will stay there for a leadoff double as Sherwhite gets the ball back in, but down 0-2 in the count. Avery Ammerman sent one on a ride, and the Vikings have their first runner of the day via the leadoff. That is here in the third. Again, Roland was able to get on base in the first, but their first leadoff runner to get aboard here. This will be in the third inning. Again, if you missed any of the 2023 softball tournament, you can check it out by searching Kindred-Richland or Central Cass Region 1 softball tournament. You can check that out for free again on demand on yourliveevent.com or simply on our YouTube page. So looking at bunt there was Jana. With no outs, the Vikings trying to get a runner to third base here. Leah Rowland made her way all the way to second in the first. Mitchell, the 0-1. This one swung on and missed. Now 0-2, and then it goes back again to the top of the lineup with Jansen Jordheim. So far, no balls, 2 strikes here to Tazark. Mitchell looking for her third punch-out of the afternoon, and she's going to get it. A strike 3 looking. Second, make that strikeout number 4 of the afternoon. That's the third one via looking, and there's one down now as Jansen Jordheim, the center fielder, digs in. Righty-righty matchup here. Mitchell, this one, another good-looking strike, and so far it was 2 strikes to Avery Ammerman before she belted one to center. Got 3 straight strikes on Tazark and works ahead here on Jansen Jordheim, who struck out looking her last time up in the first inning. Here's the pitch. This one also swung on and missed, now at 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes on the way to Jansen Jordheim. Here is Whitney Mitchell. Works ahead in the count, gets the sign from the dugout. The 0-2. That will be strike 3 up in the zone. Runner's going to bluff and go to third, and Avery Ammerman with a little bit of a delayed steal. And there's now 2 down here in the bottom of the third, but a runner makes their way in Avery Ammerman to third base. So a strikeout with Jansen Jornheim. Mitchell gets her 5th punch-out, but the stolen base for Avery. And now there's a runner 60 feet away from home. Mitchell will look into Aspen Preen here to Elena Schmitz. Schmitz 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Swung on and missed. That'll be 0-1. Batter number 2 in the lineup here for Sam Brandt's Kindred-Richland Vikings is Mitchell. Looks into Preen and the 0-1. That one swung on and missed. It'll be 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes here in Whitney Mitchell after giving a leadoff double to Ammerman. Back-to-back punch-outs of Tazarek and Jordheim, and we'll see what she can do here to Schmitz. 0-2 pitch, swung on and missed, and another strikeout of the side. No runs ahead, no errors, and 1 runner left. Mitchell has fanned 6 as she strikes out the side in the 1st and the 3rd, and we're still scoreless as we head to the top of the 4th inning here on YourLiveEvent.com.
At Enbridge, we believe sustainability is the foundation of our success. How well we perform as a steward of our environment, a safe operator of essential energy infrastructure, a good neighbor, and a diverse employer defines our success. Learn more about Enbridge's environmental, social, and governance commitments and our Indigenous Reconciliation Plan at Enbridge.com.
Region 1 softball today here from Kindred. It's the Kindred-Richland Vikings and the Central Cass Squirrels here on YourLiveEvent.com. Bussy, Preen, and Haugen, the 4, 5, and 6 batters, will dig in here against Danica Rath as we head to the top of the 4th inning. So far, a pitcher's duel here for both of these teams, and both squads have found ways to get a runner or 2 on base, but so far, Danica Rath and Whitney Mitchell, when they've needed to, they've bared down and found a way to get that final out of the inning when needed. As we continue here from Kindred, this one is going to be hit up, and this one will go foul over the first base dugout. Bussy earned a single and was able to get to second base, and then eventually third before she was out there. Left stranded, that is, at third base. As Bussy trying to get aboard here in the 4th. This one hops the catcher, Fuchsa. Schmitz in left with Jordheim and straightaway center into Zarek and right here in the outfield. We'll get to the infield one more time in a moment. Danica Rath with the 1-1 offering. That'll miss low. Now 2-1. Avery at third base with Leah Rowland at short. Mauk at second and Johnson at first with Fuchsa behind the plate here for Kindred-Richland. 2-1 offering on the way. This one's going to be popped up and died right in front of the second baseman, Mauk, and it'll be 4-3 on the putout with the first out here of the 4th inning. So Brea Mauk able to see that one come down a little bit and through for the out, and there's one down now here in the 4th as Aspen Preen struck out looking her last time up in the 2nd inning. Danica Rath 3 1/3 so far, 4 hits against, all in the 2nd and 3rd with 3 strikeouts as she gets a strike over on pitch number 1 here to Aspen Preen. The 0-1 pitch. This one is going to be popped up and foul over the third base dugout of Central Cass, and now behind the count at no balls and 2 strikes. Preen the lefty. Johnson taking away anything potentially hit down the line here, trying to take away an extra base hit. Shane a little bit more towards right is Tazarek as well. The 0-2 got her on the off speed, and the 4th strikeout here for Danica Rath, and the 2nd out of the 4th inning. As Olivia Haugen now will dig in. Caught stealing to get the 2nd out of the 2nd inning. She did get aboard with a single. This one in there for a strike and 0-1. Danica Rath looking for her first 3-up, 3-down inning since the top of the 1st. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and miss. Up in the zone now, 0-2. Rath works ahead on Olivia here with the 0-2 pitch. In the dirt, Fuchs is able to get there, gives it to Johnson to retire it, and there's the strikeout, and that'll be the 5th punch out here for Danica Rath, and her second straight as well. 3 up, 3 down, top of the fourth as we head to the bottom of the fourth inning. Scoreless here in Kindred. It's Region 1 Softball on your liveevent.com.
Honesty, loyalty, integrity. At Bank North, we've remained true to these values for generations. They shape the way we do business, work with customers, and support our communities. We've been here for more than a century, helping people grow farms and businesses, finance homes, and pursue their dreams. It's values-based banking, and it's all about working together to strengthen the common threads that bind us together. Bank North, always true.
High school softball here today from Kindred. And that cloud cover taking a little bit of the sunshine away a little bit throughout the afternoon. Continuing to have some pretty good wind gusts. Temperatures in the mid-60s earlier throughout the afternoon. Now kind of dipping down to the low 60s and the high 50s throughout the rest of today. For the Kindred-Richland Vikings, Harley Order 3, 4, 5, and Roland Johnson and Danica Rath here against Whitney Mitchell. Mitchell, 3 innings of work so far, 2 hits and 6 strikeouts. Punched out the last 3 batters she's faced. Roland will take up high for a ball here to start the bottom of the fourth inning. Leah with a single and a stolen base so far here today, able to reach second back in the first. 3, 4, 5 against Whitney Mitchell. Mitchell looks in with the 1-0. That'll miss for a ball at 2-0. For Kindred-Richland, they have Devils Lake coming up with the mid-season madness. Renville County and Velva Drake-Anamoose on the schedule here this weekend. The mid-season madness on the north end of Fargo. And then they will square off with Hillsborough Central Valley next week on Tuesday to wrap up the Region 1 standings and the regular season before postseason begins a week from Saturday. Here's the 2-1 to Roland. That'll miss inside. It'll be 3-1. Mid-season madness to get a bunch of teams in, A and B, and teams from the West as well make their way through. Kind of a good primer before you get to that postseason and possibly some teams that you might see once you get to, if you're fortunate enough, to a state tournament. The 3-1 pitch is going to be hit on the ground. Feeling a position nicely is Mitchell, 1-3 on the putout, and there's one down now here in the bottom of the fourth inning. All for Central Cass after today. They have Hillsborough Central Valley upcoming on May the 9th. We'll have that game for you here on yourliveevent.com before they make part of the midseason madness with West Fargo Horace, Velva Drake-Anamoose, and Renville County on the weekend. So still 4 more games to play at least here for Scott Cost for the rest of the week. Corey Johnson falls behind the count. No balls, 1 strike. Mitchell, we'll see this one miss low. Now 1-1. Josh Boyko will have the call on Thursday in Castleton between the Burros and the Squirrels for Region 1 softball. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way from Mitchell. Swung on and missed. Now it's going to be 1-2. Corey Johnson 0 for 1 with a strikeout, looking back to close out the first inning. Here's the 1-2. Strike 3 looking, and Whitney Mitchell gets her 7th punch out of the afternoon. 2 down here in the bottom of the fourth inning. And for Mitchell, she has retired the last 5 batters that she's came against. As now Danica Rath will dig in. Rath 0 for 1 with a fly out to left to Wixower last time up. Swung on and missed. Now 0-1. Sherwide in center with Gunnifson in right. Bussey at first. Haugen at second. Fletchock at short. Stieg at third with Aspen Preen behind the plates. No balls, 1 strike. Mitchell gets one at the knee. Good location now. 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes on the way. Pitcher versus pitcher here with Danica Rath. The 0-2 pitch here from Mitchell. This one's going to be hit on the ground. The third baseman there, Steve, goes across the diamond in time for the putout. That'll be 5-3 in a 3-up, 3-down inning here for Whitney Mitchell, who has gone 4 so far today here in Kindred. Still scoreless on our Bank North scoreboard as we head to the top of the 5th inning.
Not everyone One can get Secret Service level protection, but with Irie Insurance you can. You see, we've got your back, protecting homes, vehicles, businesses, crops, and so much more. Ensuring you've got the protection you need and all your questions answered faster than you can say classified information. Get protected. Get Irie Insurance. Go to IrieInsurance.com for a free quote and consultation.
Region 1 softball here today, still scoreless on YourLiveEvent.com, and a game that's 44 minutes old here in Kindred, as both of these teams will gear up for a busy weekend, and then a week from Saturday they will make their way down to Hankinson. It's just a matter of who's going to be the 1 seed from Region 1 and who will be the 2 seed heading to that Region 1 tournament. And then eventually both teams trying to find their way potentially to Jamestown, as Hankinson Co-op, Enderlin, Hillsborough, Central Valley, and Northern Cass all jostling for that 3 through 6 spot, as this is laced foul here on the way with Natalie Fontaine. Fontaine, Stieg, and Wixo, 7, 8, and 9 batters. Hankinson Co-op, Enderlin, and Hillsborough, Central Valley all at 2 and 4 in the region, with Northern Cass at 2 and 6 on the year. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Off speed, that'll miss for a ball at 1 and 1. So bottom of the lineup here against Danica Rath in the top of the 5th inning. Here's the 1-1. That'll miss for a ball now at 2 and 1. As Danica Rath has retired the last 5 batters that she's faced. Whitney Mitchell with a single in the 3rd inning was the last batter to reach here for Central Cass. This one foul back into the chain link fence, and it'll be 2 and 2. We'll have coverage of both the Region 1 baseball softball, Region 2 baseball softball, and Region 3 baseball tournaments here later this month. This is going to be hit on the ground. The second baseman, Mauk, takes her momentum with her with a little flip to Johnson, and Bray has done a nice job a handful of times so far today at third base. 5 putouts via the second baseman, and there's 1 down here in the top of the 5th inning. Maddie Sting, the third baseman, 0 for 1 today with a strikeout. That was back to start the 3rd inning, as she will take up high for a ball at 1 and 0. Danica Rath looks into Fuchsa behind the plate, gets the sign, checks a look at the arm bar on the arm sleeve, on the particular pitch and location on the sign, and delivers a strike, now 1 and 1. Rath, foul tips here with Stieg, now 1 and 2. Paige Wixo then due up next here for Central Cass, out in their all black uniforms here with those red numerals, the red stripe down the pant leg. Here's the 1-2 offering from Rath. Off speed, got her out in front here with Stieg for the strikeout. We've seen Danica now punch out 3 of the last 4 batters that she's came up against. 2 down here in the top of the 5th inning. 6 strikeouts so far of the day. Here comes the pitch. This one off the glove of Fuchsa. That's high for a ball. Now 1-0. Paige Wixo earned a single, got all the way to second base after her and Mitchell got with on board in the top of the 3rd with back-to-back singles. Here's the pitch to Wixo, swung on into the glove of Fuchsa. Now it'll be 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 pitch on the way here for Danica Rath to Paige. This one into the glove of Fuchsa again, now 1 and 2. Bottom of the 5th inning for Kindred-Richland. They will have their 6, 7, and 8 batters with Brea Mauk leading it off. This one swung on a miss, and back-to-back strikeouts for Danica Rath. She gets her 7th of the contest, and that'll do it here for the top of the 5th inning. 4.5 complete on our Bank North scoreboard here in Kindred. We're scoreless on YourLiveEvent.com. Bottom of the fifth inning, we go on our Bank North scoreboard. They take community to heart, helping their customers achieve their financial goals while supporting and improving the great rural communities that they serve. They're more than just a bank. They're a community partner. It's values-based banking. To learn more, visit ibanknorth.com. That's ibanknorth.com, member FDIC, equal housing lender, and check out one of their branches, including their branch in Castleton, throughout the week. Bottom of the fifth inning, we go here. Whitney Mitchell, 4 innings of work, 2 hits, 1 in the first and 1 in the third, a single and a double, 7 strikeouts so far in the circle for Mitchell. Brea Mount, Mackenzie Fuchs, and Avery Ammerman here will dig in the bottom of the fifth inning. This one will miss for a ball, now at 1-0. Mauk earned a fly out to Gunnifson in right her last time up. 1 ball, no strikes here to start things off in the bottom of the fifth inning. There's the 1-0 pitch. That'll be in there for a strike at 1-1. Whitney Mitchell able to strike out 4 of the last 6 outs that she's had so far here in the circle. This one foul tipped. That'll be in there for a strike, now 1-2. Goose eggs across the board so far for the Central Cass Squirrels. No runs, 4 hits, no errors with 3 runners left on base. Kindred-Richland, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on base so far. The 1-2 pitch is popped up, and that'll go foul, and we'll keep it at 1-2 all over again. So Aspen Preem behind the plate. Her and Mitchell look into the dugout here for the sign, the 1-2. This one will hop the ground now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. In Richland, we're able to work the count to a 3-1 was Leah Rowland back in the 4th. And then a full count with Fuchsa and a 2-ball count with Rath in the 2nd. The 2-2 swung on and missed for the strikeout, and that's number 8 here for Mitchell in the circle. And there's 1 down in the bottom of the 5th inning. Mackenzie Fuchsa will dig in with a pop out to Haugenetch, second, her last time up. Which team might score first might be the one that wins this one. So far, it's zeros across the board here in the bottom of the 5th inning. This one rolls all the way back to the backstop. That'll be 1-0. Mackenzie worked the count full her last time up. Nyler has also given the free pass between Mitchell and Danica Rath today. They have both, when they've been behind the counts, found ways to get a couple of good pitches. As this one is going to be laced into left field. That one was hit on a line by Mackenzie Fuchsa. She gets a 1-out base knock here. It's the first batter since Avery Ammerman to lead things off in the 3rd inning to get aboard. And we'll have a courtesy runner coming on here for Mackenzie Fuchsa, the catcher. And that courtesy runner here will be Mathis. So Josie Mathis will come on, the sophomore, for a courtesy run here for Fuchsa, the senior for the catcher. And now Avery, who has the lone extra base hit today for the Kindred-Richland Vikings, will step up to the plate. Double with a stolen base, was stranded at 3rd in the 3rd inning. As Bussey takes a couple of steps in at first. Mitchell with the pitch in there for a strike. Now 0-1 as Mathis took a couple extra steps. Aspen Preen was looking to see if she would throw down to 2nd or 1st as Mathis kind of just froze for a moment there, and deciding to kind of eat that one was Preen, making sure committing a throwing error. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one will miss for a ball, now at 1-1. After that, Janet Tazark, the number 9 batter, due up next here for the Vikings. Vikings have 4 batters to the plate in the 1st, 3 in the 2nd, 4 in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th, and here's the 3rd here in the inning. This one will go to Bussey. Bussey able to tag on the way there. The batter in Amrin, so that'll go 3 unassisted, and Janet Tazark will come up next as the runner will make her way. Mathis to second base. That one was just a little number on the way by Avery Emrys. That one was hit on the ground. Now there's 2 down here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th inning. And the way this has been going again, 4 batters, 3 batters, 4 batters, it goes right in sequence. As Scott Koss calls a quick time on the mound to talk it over with his infield here, and everybody gets back to their position. In the top of the 6th inning for the Central Cass Squirrels, top of the lineup with Mitchell, Sherwhite, and Fletchock for the 3rd time through the lineup against Anna Carath once we get to the top of the 6th inning. As our umpire will crumb across here. And Jenna Tazark will dig in. This one will be in there for a strike at 0-1. Runner at second base is Mathis. As Mitchell looks in, and the pitch. This one is going to be hit in the air to short, and that will be retired. The side as Fletchock is able to get there on a little pop out to shortstop. No runs after a single. There were no hits and a runner left on base. Whitney Mitchell, 5 innings of work so far here today. We're still scoreless as we head to the top of the 6th inning on your liveevent.com.
Enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in North Dakota, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Top of the 6th inning as we're here in Kindred between the Central Cass Squirrels and the Kindred-Richland Vikings. It is Region 1 softball in a game that's nearing the 1-hour mark here in the top of the 6th inning. Mitchell, Sherwhite, and Fletchock so far today combined 1 of 5 against Anna Carath. Whitney Mitchell with a single her last time up here in the 3rd inning. She's the last batter to get aboard against Anna Carath, who's punched out or recorded 8 consecutive outs here for the Vikings in the circle. The pitch, this one's going to be hit on the ground foul. This one now will be 0-1 here with Whitney Mitchell. No balls, 1 strike on the way here. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Osby got her out in front, now 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes here. 3rd time through the lineup for the Central Cass Squirrels. Got 2 hits in the 2nd, 2 hits in the 3rd, and since then, trying to get someone on is Danica Rath instead. Gets her 8th strikeout of the afternoon. And for Rath, she's now punched out 3 straight and 5 of the last 6 batters that she's came up against. And Sophie Sherwhite will come up to the plate. Sherwhite will put this one to the second baseman. Mauk underhands it to Johnson, 4-3 on the putout, and there's 2 down here in the 6th inning. And now it's to Grace Fletchock. Fletchock with a pair of grounders so far here today. Fletchock 0 for 2. First pitch swinging, this one will be foul. Now 0-1 for the Vikings. They will also, in the 6th inning, be sending the top of their lineup to the plate with Jansen Jordheim to lead things off in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Here's the 0-1 pitch. This one is going to be hit up the 3rd baseline. Ammerman gloves it, goes across to Johnson in time, 6-3. On the putout. Another 3 up, 3 down inning for Danica Rash. She's done that 3 consecutive times. As we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, we're scoreless here on your liveevent.com.
Hungry and on the road, Petro Stopping Center in Fargo has got your back with an impressive lineup of goodies including Popeye's Chicken, Charlie's Cheesesteaks, Cinnabon, Papa John's, and a mouth-watering full-sized restaurant, the Dolly Down Grill, you'll be spoiled for choice. Whether you're a quick pit stopper or looking to settle in for a while, Petro Stopping Center's Fargo location has got you covered 24/7 every day of the week. Cruise on over to their spot just off 45th Street and I-94 and indulge in a feast fit for the road warrior in you.
As we head to the bottom of the 6th inning here, the Kindred-Richland Vikings will be going up against Whitney Mitchell. 5 innings of work, 3 hits, 8 strikeouts for Mitchell in the circle so far against this Kindred-Richland lineup. And for Kindred-Richland, just like Central Cass, going up against Dakota, top third of the lineup. 1 of 6 with a single so far. That single coming by Leah Rowland back in the 1st inning. And for Whitney Mitchell, done a good job here today attacking the strike zone, and will look to do so here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Softball, 7 innings of play unless we head to extras. With the way these two pitchers are going right now, who knows, we might be getting some free softball here in Kindred, as this one will miss for a ball. But can someone at this point score just 1 run will be the biggest question here in this one, as it was a 2-1 contest back in April in Castleton with Central Cass coming out in front. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Jansen Jordan. She bluffs a bunt. Now it'll be 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes here. Jansen Jordheim with Elena Schmitz and Leah Rowland due up. Here's the 2-0 offering. Swung on and missed. Now 2-1. So Mitchell comes back in the count right now. Down 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1. That'll be in there for a strike at 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, no outs here, top of the lineup and the bottom of the 6th. 2-2, strike 3, looking for the 3rd time. Mitchell has punched out Jansen Jordheim, and that's her 9th strikeout of the afternoon. 1 down here in the bottom of the 6th. Elena Schmitz due up. The left fielder here, 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. The pitch, swung on and miss. Now 0-1. Whitney Mitchell, just like Dakota, they both have done a good job attacking the knee all the way up to the hip in terms of the low to the upper half of the strike zone. Changing speeds, the 0-1 pitch. This one foul tip, now it'll be 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes with 1 out here. The 0-2. Swung on and miss, and that's back-to-back strikeouts to begin the bottom of the 6th here for Whitney Mitchell, and she's now recorded 10 on the afternoon. Able to get the strikeout the side in the 1st, able to strike out the side in the 3rd, earned a strikeout in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, and 2 so far here in the 6th inning. Leah Rowland, 1 of 2 today with a single back in the 1st. This one is going to be popped up and playable for the catcher, Preen. Preen sees it, gloves it to retire the side, able to fight off the sun a little bit there for Aspen. Another 3 up, 3 down inning as we head to the top of the 7th scoreless on yourliveevent.com.
For trusted news, weather, and sports from your community, look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated. KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. Your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Local voices from local radio.
Top of the 7th inning we go. Scoreless between the Central Cass Squirrels and alongside the Kindred-Richland Vikings here, as you'll have coming to the plate scheduled Bussy, Preen, and Haugen here for Central Cass. Make sure you stay tuned to our post-game show, brought to you in part by the Petro Stopping Center, your one-stop travel hub for all of your road trip requirements, just off 45th Street and I-94 in Fargo. We'll get to a look at the final numbers in this one. We'll also get to our Enbridge Energy Player of the Game. That and more still to come on our post-game show here on YourLiveEvent.com. Chase Miller with you today from, as it was yesterday afternoon, a blustery Kindred from the baseball diamond, just making our way across the road here to softball. Danica Rath on for her 7th inning of work. The pitch to Bussey will miss in the dirt for a ball, now 1-0. Bussey, 1 of 2 today with a single back in the 2nd inning. Grounded out her last time up in the 4th. Here's the 1-0. This is going to be foul. Back to the backstop, now 1-1. So middle of the lineup here due for Central Cass. Again, the question is, can someone get 1 run across the board here in this 7th inning? Otherwise, we'd be going to extras. The 1-1. This is going to be hit on the ground. The shortstop rolling is there. Gloves it, comes across and able to retire Bussey for the outs. 6-3 on the put out. Back-to-back batters here out via Roland for Central Cass with Fletchock and Bussey. Now it's Aspen Prino for 2 today with a pair of strikeouts, 1 looking and 1 swinging her last time up in the 4th. Good rip here by Aspen. Foul, now 0-1 in the count. For Danica Rath, taking a look back, and Whitney Mitchell was the last batter to reach in the 3rd. Since then, able to retire 12 straight. This one will miss for a ball, now at 1-0. 8 strikeouts, 4 hits here for Rath so far in the circle. Here's the 1-1. That'll miss outside for a ball at 2-1. Those hits coming from a single from Bussey and a single from Haugen in the 2nd. And in the 3rd, a single from Mitchell and a single from Wixo in the 3rd. 2 balls, 1 strike here in the 7th. Rath will miss up now 3-1. First 3-ball count here since Aspen Preen was able to do it in the 2nd inning. 3-1 pitch on the way from Danica. This one is going to be hit up the 3rd baseline foul now at 3-2. And Olivia due up next as Aspen Preen is trying to solve the puzzle that is Danica Rath here on this Tuesday afternoon and find a way to get on base. The 3-2 pitch, this one will be fouled. And the 7th pitch of the at-bat upcoming for Preen. We saw Preen do a good job working the count in the 2nd and doing the same thing here, getting some pitches thrown against Danica Rath. Top of the 7th inning here, Squirrels need a run. Otherwise, if the Vikings get a run in the bottom half, it'll be ball game. This one is going to be hit over the 3rd baseman. Rolling, can't get there. Aspen Preen rounds first, takes a big turn. Good job by Schmitz and left getting that ball back in, but Aspen Preen gets a base knock opposite field over Ammerman and Roland, and it's a 1-out single. So Aspen Preen is on, and that's the first base runner again since Whitney Mitchell earned a single back in the 3rd inning here for the Squirrels. As Olivia Haugen, 1 of 2 today, will dig in with a runner at first base. This one is going to be hit, and oh, what a glove play by Rolling for the double play. Rolling with the sprawling attempt across, able to have a little bit of a superwoman style there. That'll go a line drive on a little pop-out, actually, and the double play to retire the side. No runs, a hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. Nice looking play there by Roland for the double play as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning here on YourLiveEvent.com.
This is Chris from RDK Enterprises, your local precision planting dealer. This spring has been a trying time, and we may feel everything is out of our control. Please remember to slow down and stay safe this spring. Come home to your families each and every night. Please use this time to make sure your planter is ready to go. Keep downtime to a minimum. When you get into the fields, we are here to help you with any planting issues that may come up. RDK Enterprises, 636-2119 or planterdoc.com.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Farmers Union Insurance, protecting what's important in life.
Your local Castleton agents, Scott Kramer and Tyler Wasleen, wish the Squirrels the best of luck this postseason. Coming up, we'll get to our post-game show here on YourLiveEvent.com, but the question is, will we get that through regulation, or will we get that coming up here when it matters in terms of extra innings, potentially, as Whitney Mitchell on for her 7th inning of work. Johnson, Rath, and Mauk. First pitch swinging, swung on and missed with Johnson here. She falls behind the count now 0-2 with the 0-1. She's 0 for 2 today, that is, with a pair of strikeouts. Here's the 0-1 offering on the way from Mitchell. That'll be up in the zone now, 1-1. Mitchell has recorded 5 consecutive outs, 10 strikeouts through 6 innings of work, 3 hits, a hit in the first via the single, a double in the second, and a single in the 5th. Here for the Vikings. This one is foul tipped. That'll be 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes here to the number 4 batter in the lineup, the first baseman in Cora Johnson. Vikings looking for a run to walk it off here in the 7th. The Squirrels looking for extras. Here's the 1-2. This one will come in, and that'll be the first hit batter and the first free pass of the afternoon for either club. So hit by pitch, and Johnson will get aboard here, as the trainer will come out to make sure Cora's all right. She's kind of, that right hand as she's kind of flexing right now and trying to loosen it up a little bit. So not the bottom half, but the right. And Sam Brandt and her assistant make sure she looks to be okay with the thumbs up as Danica Rath will dig in. Rath 0 for 2 so far today. With nobody out, we'll see what kind of play that Sam wants to put on here. Try to get that runner into scoring position, bare minimum here, or do you let Danica Rath swing away with Johnson now at first base? Mitchell looks into Preen behind the plate. Rath looking to bunt, does. Mitchell gloves it, goes across, taking a big swing as Johnson. The throw goes over the head of Stieg, and she's going to get in there safely. So you get the sacrifice bunt for Danica Rath, and then Bussey comes across and goes over Stieg's head, and then that'll be the first error of the contest that allowed Johnson to get all the way to third base. So an E3, Scott Koss will come out here. There is a runner on now at third base, and there is 1 out. So hit by pitch with Cora Johnson. Sacrifice bump by Danica Rath. She gets thrown out at first base. And then taking the big turn was Cora Johnson from second. She took about a 5 to 6 good feet across across second base when she rounded it. And Bussey kind of charged after her, and then Johnson kind of froze after she was about a good 10 to 15 feet. Bussey threw it then to third base, and once it went over the third baseman Stieg, all of a sudden that's where it went across to allow them to come in. Now Scott Koss talking it over with the outfielders too, saying come in and play a little bit shallower than maybe where you normally would, trying to make sure if it is a fly out into the outfield that you have enough arm strength to make sure that you get the runner at third base in Johnson, as she would look to take up and score. As Brea Mauk 0 for 2 so far today with a strikeout. Here's Mitchell in the circle. The pitch, this one's going to be bunted, and that'll go foul, now 0-1. So the Vikings have a runner at third base here, the winner of this contest, barring if there is a potential loss across the way for who wins or loses for the last couple of games of the regular season. The winner of this would be in full control of the number 1 seed heading to the region tournament. The loser would be the 2. 0-1 pitch has popped up, and this one will go to the netting, now 0-2. So Brea Mauk Down the count, no balls, 2 strikes. The winning run at third base in Cora Johnson. Mitchell in the circle. The 0-2 pitch, swung on and miss for the strikeout. Second out of the inning, the 11th punch out by Mitchell, and there's 2 down now here in the 7th. And we'll see if Mackenzie Fuchsa gets a chance here if Scott Koss says the intentional. So Fuchsa will get the intentional free pass here. And there'll be runners at the corners with Avery Ammerman. Fuchs's run doesn't matter regardless. So now it'll be up to Avery Ammerman here, as Ammerman is 1 of 2 today with the extra base hit back in the 3rd inning. So runners at the corners for the Vikings, but the go-ahead and the game-winning run sits at third base in the form of Cora Johnson. A game that got underway an hour and 15 minutes ago. Here's the pitch from Mitchell. This one will miss up high for a ball, now at 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes here. Cora Johnson at third base. At first is Mackenzie Fuchsa. Again, they intentionally walked her to give her an opportunity. And now you want to be careful with Ammerman. You still have 1 base to work with if you're Mitchell. The 1-0 pitch swung on and miss at 1-1. If Ammerman does get aboard, Janet Tazarik's due up next. If we do go to the top of the 8th inning, it'll be Fontaine, 7, 8, and 9 batters for Central Cass in the lineup in the top of the 8th. 1 ball, 1 strike here with Whitney Mitchell in the circle. The 1-1, that one will miss. Now it'll be 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike here with 2 outs in the 7th. Batter number 5 of the inning here in the bottom of the 7th for the Vikings. The 2-1 pitch from Mitchell to Ammerman. And that'll miss up. That'll be 3-1. Fuchsa stands at second base going 2 pitches ago. And that run doesn't matter. The run that matters is the runner at third. And now Ammerman in a hitter's count. 3 balls, 1 strike here against Mitchell. The 3-1 pitch swung on and miss. Aspen Preem bluffs the throw back to third with Stieg as Johnson took an extra step or 2 down the line. 2 outs, a full count, runners in scoring position, bottom of the 7th. What more would you expect between the Squirrels and the Vikings here in softball? The 3-2 pitch on the way from Mitchell. This is foul tipped, and we'll do it all over again. Runs have been hard to come by between these 2 teams. 3 combined runs in the first game through 7, and so far through 7, only haven't scored a run yet. Ammerman trying to change it. The Squirrels trying to change that philosophy once we get to the 8th inning. The payoff pitch on the way from Mitchell. Strike 3, looking to retire the side, and Mitchell gets her 12th strikeout of the afternoon. No runs, no hits, an error, and 2 runners left on base. We've played 7, and now it's time to go to extras. And we're scoreless here in Kindred on your liveevent.com.
Since its beginning, the Central Cass Booster Club has generated and helped sustain fan interest in the men's and women's athletic programs at Central Cass High School. Through the years, that mission has broadened to also enhance the youth programs throughout the community. For more information, search Central Cass Booster Club on Facebook or email centralcassboosterclub@gmail.com. That's centralcassboosterclub@gmail.com. Go Squirrels!
Homegrown local radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
As we head to the top of the 8th inning here on your liveevent.com, it's the Kindred-Richland Vikings and the Central Cass Squirrels here in the Top of the 8th, Chase Miller with you. Still to come, we'll get to our post-game show, brought to you in part by the Petro Stopping Centers. Natalie Fontaine, Maddie Stieg, and then Paige Wixo due up here in the top of the 8th inning. Fontaine 0 for 2 with a strikeout so far today. First pitch swinging against Danica Rath. That'll be swung on and missed. Now 0-1. Someone is looking for a run. One run here between the Squirrels and the Vikings could do it. Off-speed pitch, now 1-2. Best opportunity for Central Cass to score was back in the second and the third. In the second, they had runners at the corners with 1 out, but Olivia Haugen was caught stealing to make it 2 outs at second base. And then in the third inning, a leadoff single by Wixo, and then a follow-up single by Mitchell, but those two were held at first and second back in the third, and that was actually with 1 out. Here's a swing to right. This one is going to be dropped on the way by Tazark. Rounding second, here is Fontaine, and she will stay there. So Natalie Fontaine is able to get that one into right field, and Tazark bobbled that one. As now all of a sudden, if you're the Central Cass Squirrels, you will have a runner in scoring position, and we will have a pinch hitter upcoming here for the Central Cass Squirrels. As Zimmerman looks to be coming on here in place of Maddie Stieg. After the base knock there by Fontaine. And also we'll have a courtesy runner here for the Central Cass Squirrels. So Squirrels get their courtesy runner coming across. As number 3, and unfortunately we don't have a number. Oh, Bryn Thomas, there we go. As Thomas will come on and courtesy run now for Fontaine. As coming on to pinch hit will be Zimmerman. No matter what happens, Kindred-Richland will have a chance to answer if there is a run scored in the bottom half of the 8th inning. But right now still scoreless, nobody out with a runner at second in Thomas after the Fontaine able to get to second with the error with the Zark in right field. This one swung on and missed. Now it's going to be 0-1. So no balls, 1 strike here. Zimmerman. Foul tips this one to the back now at 0-2. Top of the 8th inning here from Progressive Egg Field in Kindred. Here's the 0-2 pitch. This one's going to be hit to right, and that's going to get through for a base knock. Thomas rounds third. Here's the throw in, not in time. It's an RBI single for Zimmerman, and the Central Cass Squirrels have taken a 1-0 advantage. So a base knock here for Zimmerman. Able to come in. Thomas comes in to score, and we'll get a quick time here as Paige Wixo will come out. And then we'll get a courtesy runner as Stieg will return after Zimmerman delivers the goods here for the Central Cass Squirrels. So Zimmerman gets the RBI single, and will that be enough on our Bank North scoreboard here? Here in this inning, it took to get to extras before finally someone plated a run across. And now the Squirrels have some insurance by the name of Maddie Stieg out there at first base. Paige Wixo, 1 of 2 today with a single back in the 3rd inning, will come up now for Central Cass. The 7, 8, and 9 batters, Fontaine and Stieg, able to put a couple of softballs in play here, and they have taken advantage of it in the top of the 8th inning against Danica Rath. This one swung on and missed into the glove of Fuchsa. Now Wixo falls behind the count, 0-1 for the Kindred-Richland Vikings. They will have their 9, 1, and 2 batters due up in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Now 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1. This one foul back. Now it's going to be 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Pulled the string, and Dakota has done that a few times here today. Gets the strikeout for the first out here in the 8th. Her 9th punch-out of the contest, and now it goes to Whitney Mitchell. Mitchell, 1 of 3 today with a single back in the 3rd. The pitch. This one is going to be hit up the first base line. That one will go foul. Now 0-1. So Zimmerman able to come on and pitch hit. Raya, the sophomore, able to deliver the opposite field RBI single. Thomas comes in to score. It's now 1-0 in favor of Central Cass. Mitchell behind the count, 0-1. This will miss up out of the zone at 1 ball and 1 strike. And the winner of this game, full control of trying to be the number 1 seed entering the Region 1 tournament. Loser of this game will end up being the 2 seed more than likely, as this one is fouled at 1-2. There still is a little bit more of the regular season to be played, with the Vikings scheduled to play the Burros next week, while the Squirrels will have a contest on Thursday with HCV. This one swung on a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Dakota, who now also into double digits as Whitney Mitchell is, as Mitchell is retired for the second out of the 8th inning. Sophie Sherwhite will dig in now for the Squirrels, who's 0 for 3 today with a ground out to second, her last time up to Mauk. This one is going to be fouled, and it'll be 0-1, as that might be an indentation into the cars a little bit now. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the 8th inning. The pitch. This one is going to be popped up, and that's going to be into and over the Kindred-Richland dugout, now at 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, with 2 outs here in the 8th inning, with the runner at first base with Stieg. The pitch. This one is popped up into short center. Rowland calling everybody off, and she's able to glove it to retire the side. But a run does come in. There was 1 run off a 1 hit and error, and 1 runner left on base. A new score on our Bank North scoreboard, 7.5 complete as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Squirrels lead it by 1 here on your liveevent.com. Bottom of the 8th inning here in Kindred. It's 1-0 in favor of the Central Cass Squirrels, as the Kindred-Richland Vikings will be sending Jenna Tazark with Jansen Jornheim and Elena Schmitz here. The 9-1-2 batters due up here in the bottom of the 8th inning. So the Vikings need a run to at least extend it to the 9th. 2 runs would win it. All for the Central Cass Squirrels, just hoping to put up 1 more 0 on that Bank North scoreboard and earn the season series sweep over Kindred-Richland in the Region 1 standings. This one fouled back. Now will be 0-1. Really good contest between these 2 clubs in a game that's nearing the 90-minute mark here. And just shows you what we've had so far between both of these teams. A 2-1 victory the first time for the Squirrels, now 1-0. Runs have been hard to come by, but give credit to where credit's due with the pitching. Jenna Tazark chases out of the zone. Now it's going to be 0-2. As the Vikings will need 1 here in the bottom of the 8th. Otherwise, the Squirrels will pick up the victory here today in Kindred. The 0-2 pitch. This one is going to be popped up. The wind will play this one. The first baseman, Bussey, gives way to the second baseman in Haugen, who runs into the wall down the first baseline. She looks to be all right. It'll be a long strike, and we'll keep it at 0-2. Wynn able to blow that one a little bit closer to being nearly out of play. Haugen had a chance at it. Shook a pretty good hit into that wall. Looks to be okay there at second. The 0-2 pitch on the way here for Mitchell. This one foul tipped off the glove of Preen, and will do it again. "12 strikeouts so far for Mitchell. 3 hits, a walk. One was a hit by pitch, one was an intentional walk, and that's it so far here for Whitney. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Check swing. They'll say she did not go. They'll try to go down, and they will say she did not go, and we'll keep it now to a 1-2 count. Desart able to not go through the zone, as Jenna looks against Mitchell here. Whitney. The 1-2, this one's going to be hit to right, and that one is going to be caught by the right fielder, Gunnifson, and there's one down here in the bottom of the 8th inning. So a fly out to right, good piece of contact there for Tazart, but there's one down now in the bottom of the 8th inning as Jansen Jordheim 0 for 3 today. While trying to get on base here against Mitchell. Whitney, righty-righty matchup. This one to the glove of Aspen Preen, works ahead in the count now at 0-1. Here's the 0-1 offering from Mitchell. This one will be out of the glove of Aspen Preen at 1-1. Whitney Mitchell, just a freshman here. Her and Natalie Fontaine been able to get a lot of work here this season for head coach Scott Kost in the circle. 1 ball, 1 strike on the way here for Mitchell. The 1-1. That'll miss low, now 2-1. So 2 balls, 1 strike here for Mitchell against Jordheim. As Jansen Jordheim trying to find a way to get on base here for Elena Schmitz, who's due up next. The 2-1 offering. That'll be in there for a strike at 2-2. Jordheim worked the count full in the first, was retired on 3 pitches in the third, struck out on a 2-2 count in the 6th. And it's a 2-2 count now here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Here's the 2-2 pitch. This one is going to be hit on the ground, and that's going to be past the second baseman, Haugen, into short right field, and it's a 1-out single here for Jansen Jordheim. Just the 4th hit given up for Whitney Mitchell here today, and now it's Helena Schmitz. The left fielder 0 for 3 today will dig in here with Jansen Jordheim standing at first base for the tying run. Now aboard. This one will get all the way to the backstop. As now for Kindred-Richland on the YO pitch. They will have Jordheim in scoring position as Elena works ahead in the count now at 1-0 as Scott Kost will come on here. Wixo in left field, Sherwhite in right with Gunnifson again at right field. Wixo in left and Sherwhite in center, that is. Scott Kost will come on and talk with the infield here now with Jansen Jordheim at second and potential what happens depending on the play that the Vikings provide. You could have Elena possibly lay down a bunt, see if he can get Jansen Jordheim all the way to third base, and if there's maybe a throwing error at first, she could come in and score, put the ball in play. Or you let the number 2 batter here in the lineup swing away here with that go-ahead run, and then trying to get on base with the tying run at second, and then Elena would be the game-winning run right now at home plate trying to get on base. Regardless, it's a 1-0 count here from Whitney Mitchell upcoming. This one in the glove of Aspen Preen for a strike. Swung on and missed here by Elena. Now 1 ball and 1 strike. 4 hits today against Mitchell, with the last coming by Jansen there with the single. The 1-1 offering in the zone. That'll be up now 2-1 as Preen walks the runner back to second. 2 balls, 1 strike on the way to Schmitz. Whitney with the 2-1 offering. This one swung on and missed. Now 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes here with 1 out, with the runner at first and Jansen Jordheim. Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way. Fouled back. We'll keep it at 2-2. Both of these teams will be back in action with the mid-season madness. The Squirrels back in action on Thursday here on yourliveevent.com for Region 1 softball against Hillsborough Central Valley. Here's the 2-2 offering. In the dirt, this one gets by Preen. It will be a wild pitch, and Jordheim scampers to third. So that one in the dirt was going to allow the Vikings, regardless of what happens here now with Elena, the runner will make it to third base, and Leah Rowland is due up next for the Vikings. Rowland 1 of 3 today, but right now it's all about Schmitz and Mitchell. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, tying run at third base, and Jansen Jordheim. The 3-2, this one popped up and will do it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. The 3-2 pitch upcoming here for Elena. That'll be a walk. Schmitz will take first base on the free pass. The third free pass here by Mitchell. Now runners will be at the corners with 1 down. Tying run at third, go ahead and game-winning run at first. And Leah Rowland, the number 3 batter, the shortstop, junior, will dig in 1 of 2 today with a single, 1 of 3 today that is, with a single and a stolen base back in the first. Rowland looks to bunt. That one will miss. Runner will go to second. Here with Elena, uncontested. And it will be a 1-0 count on the way here for Rowland. So for the Central Cass Squirrels, we're going to take a look here with the 1-0 pitch. Making sure that not leaving too early there was Schmitz. Schmitz now an intentional walk with Leah Rowland, as Cora Johnson, the number 4 batter, will dig in 0 for 2 today. Struck out twice and was hit by a pitch her last time up. Bases full of Vikings, nowhere to put Cora Johnson. That one is going to miss for a ball, as it'll now be 1-0. Batter number 5 of the inning. The 1-0 pitch. This one is going to be hit up the first baseline, foul. Now 1-1. If Cora Johnson does record an out, it would be up to Danica Rathen here for Kindred-Richland. But right now, Cora Johnson, the junior, will come up to the plate with a 1-ball, 1-strike count here against Mitchell. Whitney Mitchell looking for her 13th strikeout. We'll love one here. The 1-1. This one is popped up. Now it'll be 1-2 as that'll go foul. The Vikings, their best opportunity to put some runners across. They were able to get a couple of on back in the 7th. Well, this is their best opportunity today so far against Mitchell here in the 8th. The 1-2. That one going to graze the knee of Cora Johnson, and it's the second consecutive at-bat here for Johnson, hit by a pitch, and now it's a 1-1 contest. So coming in to score will be Jansen Jordheim. Everybody moves up 60 feet. Schmitz goes to third, Rowland goes to second, and Johnson will get the run driven in. And now it's with Danica Rath with one down. So they're saying it's going to hit Cora Johnson. Grazed her enough across the knee. And now Danica Rath and the Vikings with the game-winning run stands at third base with Schmitz. We know at least this. We're at least playing 9 if it's remain tied at 1 apiece. This one hit up the first base line. That'll go foul. Now 0-1. That's what the Squirrels now are looking for. The Vikings looking to put the game away here in the bottom of the 8th inning with a base knock, a walk, a pass ball, anything of that nature that can possibly bring Elena in from third. Here's the 0-1. That'll be in there for a strike at 0-2. So Danica Rath behind the count, no balls, 2 strikes, 0 for 2 today with a sacrifice bunt her last time up, as she will call time. Schmitz at third, Rowland at second, Cora Johnson stands at first, the 0-2. Fouled, and we'll keep it at 0-2. As Danica Rath is looking for something that she can hit back up the middle, the outfielders take a couple of steps from where they would normally play here, trying to see if something is hitting the outfield with a sacrifice fly to try to gun down the runner, and Schmitz at home. The 0-2 offering on the way. This one's going to be hit on the ground and foul to Sam Brandt in the third base coaching box, and we'll do it again. Here's the 0-2 pitch on the way. Here for Mitchell. Swung on and missed for the strikeout, and Mitchell gets her 13th punch out and out number 2 here in the 8th inning. So Brea Mauk now will be coming up. Mauk 0 for 3 today with a pair of strikeouts, as the Central Cass Squirrels trying to get this one to the 9th, where they would have their 3, 4, and 5 batters due up, with Grace Fletchhawk leading things off. Here's the pitch upcoming from Mitchell. This one is going to be hit on the ground. The third baseman gloves it in time to retire the side. So Stieg able to glove it. 5 unassisted, but a run does come in. There were no errors, 3 runners left, and they did it all on just 1 hit here for the Kindred-Richland Vikings. It's tied at 1 apiece as we have completed 8 today here in Kindred on your liveevent.com.
Stop on out to Watts Ace Hardware in Castleton and gear up with name brands from Steel, Milwaukee, Ego, and Craftsman Power Tools. Plus, Watts Ace Hardware has a key cutting and paint mixing section for your own do-it-yourself projects. From their grill selection with Traeger, Blackstone, Weber, and the Big Green Egg to their customer laser engraving center, Watts Ace Hardware is a place you need to check out. Stop in at 1610 Governor's Drive in Castleton for Watts Ace Hardware.
Top of the 9th inning we go here in Kindred. 1-1 apiece in Region 1 softball. Fletchhawk, Bussey, and Preen due up here for the Central Cass Squirrels, and we will get to our Petro Stopping Center's post-game show at some point. Now it's just a matter of when, tied at 1 apiece as we continue to play on here in Kindred. This one has been a pitcher's duel, and all of a sudden it took the 8th. Both teams got some runners on against Danica Rath and Mitchell, able to play to run across. This one will miss high. Now it's going to be 1-0, and now all of a sudden, in softball, you do get a good chunk of pitches in a particular day, playing 2-3 games, sometimes in a tournament or a jamboree setting. as this will be fouled off. Now 1-1. Fourth time here for Grace Fletchock going up against Danica Rath. As the 1-1 pitch is upcoming in there for a strike at 1-2. Fletchock with 3 groundouts here today against Rath. Rath with 10 strikeouts so far in the circle for the Vikings. The 1-2, this one is going to be smoked to center field, and that'll die for a base knock. So Grace Fletchock gets a single, the 7th hit here for Central Cass, and the Squirrels get their leadoff runner aboard here in the top of the 9th inning. So nicely done by Fletchock there to hit that one right back up the middle. As Bussey will dig in now. Bussey hits one on the ground. This one played by Malk. She'll go the short way. It works just like a sacrifice bunt, if you will, as Fletchock is able to move up 60 feet. So a productive out, 1 down now here in the top of the 9th inning. Malk immediately was not going to worry about Fletchock, who was able to see the play in front of her as Grace got into second. Aspen Preen has put a couple of good at-bats, worked the count full in the second, got a single her last time up in the 7th. First pitch swinging as this one will go over the concession stand foul, now at 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Preen. This one will be in the dirt, blocked nicely and gloved nicely, that is, by Fuchs. As Fletchock took an extra little hop there at second, trying to see if she could scamper to third. Instead, it will be 1 ball, 1 strike. Danica Rath with the pitch, and Preen hits this one into center. Coming on and gloving that one is Jordheim, and there's going to be 2 down. Aspen Preen put a good shot on that one right back up the middle, but there's 2 down here in the top of the 9th inning. As Olivia Haugen, Liv, will come up here. Hit into a double play her last time up. Rowland went able to grab one there at shortstop on a dive and able to double up the runner in Aspen Preen. As Olivia takes a ball. Now 1-0. The go-ahead run in scoring position here for Central Cass. Danica Rath one out to get the bats up in the 9th. This one is going to be hit on the ground. Ammerman is there at third, goes across, and this one is gloved in time for the out to Johnson. 5-3 on the putout. No runs after a leadoff single by Fletchock. No errors and a runner left on base. Danica Rath has pitched 9 innings today, and now it'll be the Vikings with a chance to win it in the bottom of the 9th when we return. Bottom of the 9th inning we go here in Kindred, as it's a 1-1 contest here on YourLiveEvent.com. Whitney Mitchell in the circle here for the Central Cass Squirrels as she will continue to pitch. So Fuchsa, Ammerman, and Tazark due up here. Fuchsa, 1 of 2 today with a single and an intentional walk. Here comes the pitch from Mitchell. That'll miss up for a ball, now 1-0. So 7, 8, and 9 batters here for the Vikings in the bottom of the 9th inning. Aspen Preen behind the plate. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way from Mitchell. This one into the glove of Preen, swung on and missed. That will be 1-1. So Mitchell will have the 1-1 offering on the way. This one will miss for a ball at 2-1. Bottom half of the lineup has done some damage against Whitney Mitchell. And by damage, when it's a 1-run game, it's just finding ways to get on base on games like this. A single by Fuchsa and a double by Ammerman. This one is hit in the air, playable, and the second baseman, Haugen, does a good job covering that one to get the out. It went over Bussey. Haugen was able to get there, and there's one down. So one down here in the bottom of the ninth inning as Avery Ammerman, the starting third baseman, will step up here for the Vikings. Doubled in the third, a ground out in the fifth, and struck out looking her last time up in the seventh. The pitch from Mitchell, and this one is fouled. It'll be 0-1. We've seen a couple of line drive shots to that Kindred-Richland dugout up the first baseline here this afternoon. 0-1 offering upcoming. Whitney Mitchell, 8 innings of work, 4 hits against her, 2 walks and 2 intentional walks, so 4 free passes total with 13 strikeouts, and Ammerman falls behind the count now 0-2. It's been the Mitchell and Rath show so far here today, and we'll see if Haugen continues here. Someone trying to break it up a little bit here. The 0-2 offering. This one is foul, and we'll keep it at no balls and 2 strikes. One down here after the pop out with Mackenzie Fuchsa. And the pitch. Good eye by Avery, not going after that one out of the zone. Now 1 ball and 1 strike. No lights here in Kindred, but the cloud cover that comes on through, and still got enough daylight to worry about this particular contest. But now a lot of cloud cover here in Kindred. Here's the pitch. This one is going to be hit in the air, popped up to Bussey, and Bussey's able to come across to glove it for the out. 2 down now here in the bottom of the ninth inning. And the number 9 batter, Janet Tazark, will come up 0 for 3 so far today. A strikeout, pop-out, and a flyout here against Whitney Mitchell. Here's the pitch. Hit on the ground, and that's going to be a foul ball. Janet Tazark nearly was thinking extra bases as that one hop Stieg there at third base and just missed foul, so it'll be 0-1. Then back to the top of the lineup here for the Vikings with Jordheim if Jana can get aboard for Central Cass. If we get to the top of the 10th inning, it'll be the 7, 8, and 9 batters due up. This one will miss up in the zone for a ball at 1 ball and 1 strike. There's 1 run across for both of these teams here in the bottom of the 9th inning, where hits have been at times few and far between here today. The 1-1. That'll be in there for a strike at the knee, now 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes on the way as Mitchell looks into Preem behind the plate. The 1-2. This one fouled, and we'll keep it at a 1-2 count. Zark flew out to right to Gunnifson her last time up, put a pretty good barrel to the bat. To the softball in her last time up. Here's the 1-2. This one is going to be foul, and we'll do it yet again. And that one might have cleared the cars and onto the highway here in Kindred, as we'll keep it at 1-2. As there are a couple more softballs that are now have been out as the umpire goes to the first base dugout to get a couple more game softballs here in the bottom of the 9th inning. As I'll make sure they get everything taken care of here. And there's a new softball that comes off here to Whitney Mitchell. So right now for the Vikings, down to their final strike of the bottom of the 9th inning, trying to see if they can get a 2-out rally going here. Otherwise, we will continue to play extras and get our 3rd inning of extras, bare minimum, here in Kindred. Both teams scored in the last inning in the 8th. Here's the 1-2 offering on the way. This one is going to be popped up into the concession stands and right on top of the concession stands here, and then we'll keep it at 1-2. So good at bat for the number 9 batter here in Tazark, able to foul off a handful of pitches. As Mitchell with the 1-2 again. Swung on and missed, and Whitney gets her 14th punch out of now the evening. A 3-up, 3-down, bottom of the 9th. We're heading to the 10th next here in Kindred on your liveevent.com.
It's the most prestigious, challenging rep warning tour on dirt. The most wanted, baddest outlaws, and the most powerful late models on the planet. The world of outlaws, King's Late Models.
To the top of the 10th inning we go here on yourliveevents.com, and it is still a 1-1 contest. Zimmerman earned the RBI single for the Central Cass Squirrels, playing Thomas in the 8th, and then Cora Johnson was hit by a pitch to bring in Jansen Jordheim in the bottom half of the 8th, and that's where we are right now as we make our way to the top of the 10th inning. Natalie Fontaine will re-enter here for the Central Cass Squirrels. Fontaine, Stieg, and Paige Wixo are the scheduled batters here, again in the top of the 10th inning. So 7, 8, 9 batters due up here for the Central Cass Squirrels in the top of the 10th. Is Danica Rath. We'll take a look in now. The pitch. This one is going to be fouled back, and it'll be 0-1. So Rath looks into Fuchsa here. The pitch. That'll miss for a ball at 1-1. Here's the 1-1 offering on the way to Fontaine. This one will be in the dirt low now at 2-1. Central Cass, the last 2 innings, able to get their leadoff runner on in the 8th and the 9th. Here's the 2-1 offering. This one is popped up, and this will go out of play, as it was popped up about 20 to 30 feet up the first base line, and now it'll be 2-2 all over again. Squirrels are able to get the leadoff runner on in the 2nd. The only time when it was in the regulation of softball, and then both times here since they've gone to extras. Top of the 10th inning, the 2-2. This one will miss for a ball now at 3-2. Natalie Fontaine works the count full against Danica Rath. The 3-2 pitch is foul. Then we'll have pitch number 7 of the at-bat upcoming. Danica Rath, 10 strikeouts, 7 hits so far today, has yet to yield a free pass. Well, Whitney Mitchell has done just as good of a job in terms of her numbers. The 3-2 pitch hit up the first base line, giving chase. This will go foul with Johnson, and we'll do it 3-2 all over again. Mitchell, in comparison, 9 innings of work, 4 hits, 1 run across, as well with just the 1 run, 4 walks, 2 intentional, and 14 strikeouts. Squirrels trying to get to 7-1 in the region. Kindred trying to improve to 8-1. Here's the pitch. Fouled again. Good at bat by Natalie Fontaine right now, as she's fouled off the last couple of pitches, and we'll see pitch number 8 upcoming here against Danica Rath. A 3-2. This one is going to be a slow grounder, fielded nicely by Rath. Gives it to Johnson. 1-3 on the putout, and there's 1 down here in the top of the 10th inning. As will now be Maddie Stieg, the third baseman. 0 for 2 here on the number 8 spot in the lineup. The pitch. This one is going to be smashed to left, and it's a 1-out single. Schmitz is able to get this one into rolling. And for Stieg, Maddie's able to get aboard here. Now it's to Paige Wixo. So runner on first base now for the Central Cass Squirrels with Stieg. Paige Wixo, 1 of 3 today with a single, her first time up back in the third. This one is fouled up the first base line here in the top of the 10th inning. It's now 0-1. This one will miss out of the zone as well. That will be 1 ball and 1 strike. And back to the top of the lineup with Whitney Mitchell due up next. The pitch. This one fouled. It'll be now 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes here with 1 out in the top of the 10th inning. This one into the glove of Fuchsa, and it's a punch out for Danica Rath. Her 11th strikeout of the contest, her first since the 8th inning, and there's 2 down. So Wixo's retired, and now it's Whitney Mitchell. 1 of 4 today with a single in the third. Stieg still stands at first base here in the top of the 10th inning. This is going to be hit on the ground, and that's going to be through for a base knock. Rounding second and staying put at second base here will be Stieg, and it will be an opposite field single for Mitchell on the very first pitch, and the Squirrels have runners at first and second. So Stieg now goes to second base. Going to first is Mitchell here on the 8th base knock against Danica Rath. And it will be Sophie Sherwhite, the center fielder, 0 for 4 today with the go-ahead run 120 feet away. First pitch swinging, this one's going to be hit in the air, playable, and the center fielder calls everybody off in Jordheim, and that'll retire the Squirrels in the top of the 10th inning. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. We've played 9.5 today here in Kindred, heading to the bottom half of the 10th inning when we come back on YourLiveEvent.com.
It's the North Dakota All-Star Gathering on Your Live Event, as we'll have coverage of the Shields Softball All-Star Series on June 3rd and 4th.
Closey with the 0-2 pitch.
The Optimist Volleyball Series on June 10th and 11th.
Right corner, West is there for the dig. Backs at Bogenry for another kill.
Plus, the Lions All-Star Basketball Series on July 15th and 16th.
Really nice quality second half. Goes off the backboard for the duck to Carson Yale.
For more information, go to YourLiveEvent.com.
Since its beginning, the Central Cass Booster Club has generated and helped sustain fan interest in the men's and women's athletic programs at Central Cass High School. Through the years, that mission has broadened to also enhance the youth programs throughout the community. For more information, search Central Cass Booster Club on Facebook or email centralcassboosterclub@gmail.com. That's centralcassboosterclub@gmail.com. Go Squirrels!
As we're here into the bottom of the 10th inning in Kindred, it is a 1-0 count on the way to Jansen Jordheim. Jordheim with a single and a run scored in the 8th. 1 of 4 today against Whitney Mitchell, who's in the circle for her 10th inning of work. Swung on and missed. Now to be 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike on the way here to the leadoff batter in the Kindred-Richland lineup in Jansen Jordheim. The 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. It will now be 1-2 as the sun has made its return here in Kindred behind those clouds. Here's the 1-2 offering from Mitchell. This one is out of the zone, missing for a ball, now 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Jansen Jordheim. A 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed, and Mitchell gets her 15th strikeout of the evening. 1 down here in the 10th. As Elena Schmitz will step in earned a walk her last time up in the 8th inning. Mitchell gets the sign from the dugout from Scott Kost and delivers. That'll be in there for a strike at 0-1. Schmidt so far with 3 strikeouts and a walk today here against Whitney Mitchell. One down in the bottom of the 10th inning, the pitch. This one will miss up for a ball, now 1-1. One ball, one strike here with 1 out in the 10th. That'll miss up in the zone, now 2-1. The Vikings looking to get the game-winning run here in the 10th inning. Well, for the Central Cass Squirrels, looking to try to push it to the 11th and bring up their 3, 4, and 5 batters in the top half of the 11th inning. This one will be in there for a strike to the glove of Preen on the swing and miss by Schmitz. Now it'll be 2 balls and 2 strikes. It has been a pitcher's clinic between Whitney Mitchell and Danica Rath here today, both trying to outdo the other. The 2-2 foul back and will keep it at a 2-ball and 2-strike count here as Leah Rowland then due up next for the Vikings. Kindred-Richland here in the bottom of the 10th inning with their number 2 batter in the lineup with Schmitz. Mitchell, this one is hit right to center. Coming on to play that one is Sherwhite for the outs. That's a line drive out, but it's out number 2 here in the 10th inning. As now Leah Rowland, so far with a single, an intentional walk, and then recorded out twice, is 1 of 3 today, but she's reached base twice in the number 3 spot here for the Vikings. The pitch, that'll miss low for a ball at 1-0. 5th time through the lineup here for the Vikings against Whitney Mitchell. Here's the 1-0. This one in there for a strike at 1-1. Two outs as Mitchell is looking for a 3-up, 3-down, bottom of the 10th. The pitch, that'll miss for a ball at 2-1. If Rowland's able to get aboard, Cora Johnson is due up here for the Vikings. Mitchell looks into Preen. Rowland hits this one foul off of her left foot. And this one will be a 2-ball, 2-strike count, as Rowland will try to walk this one off here for Kindred-Richland. Top of the lineup so far today for the Vikings. A single with a run scored by Jordheim, a walk by Schmitz, and then Rowland has reached base twice, a single and an intentional walk as well. As Leah Rowland will dig back in here for Kindred-Richland. And here comes the 2-2 pitch with 2 outs in the 10th. Swung on and miss, and that'll retire the side. 2 strikeouts in the inning, a 3-up, 3-down inning for Mitchell, as well as she has now pitched 10 innings with 16 strikeouts. We head to the top of the 11th next here on your liveevent.com.
Central Cass Schools' mission is to foster student excellence in cooperation with family and community and to provide educational opportunities in a safe and caring environment. Thank you to everyone who has helped make this mission a reality. The STEM Center, Theater, Music Wing, Early Childhood Center, Wellness Center, and Athletic Complex will help set students up for success in school and life after graduation. They wish everyone at Central Cass good luck this year with academics and activities as you grow into the new space and move forward with excellence.
As we head now to the top of the 11th inning here in Kindred, it's still a 1-1 contest here between the Central Cass Squirrels and the Kindred-Richland Vikings as Fletchock, Bussey, and Aspen Preen are due up here for Central Cass. Grace Fletchock, 1 of 4 today with a single. Chase Miller with you here from Kindred. We will get to our Petro Stopping Center postgame show at some point in a game now that's gone over 2 hours here today in Kindred. 2 hours and 10 minutes so far here today in Kindred. Danica Rath on for her 11th inning of work. This one in there for a strike at 0-1. If you like pitching and you like good defense, well, we've seen a lot of that so far here in this one. Here's the pitch from Rath, the 0-1. This one is going to be hit, and that's to right, and a base knock here for Fletchock as she will get on with a leadoff single. Back-to-back singles for Fletchock, and the 9th hit against Danica Rath. For the Squirrels, make that the 10th hit against Danica Rath. As now it'll be Bussey. Bussey foul tips this one into the glove of Fuchsa. So far, 1 of 4 today here for Brady. 1 run. The Squirrels have left so far. 7, 1 air, and 10 hits. Off-speed pitch, that'll be out of the zone at 1-1. In comparison for the Vikings, 1 run so far off of just 4 hits. They have left 8, and they have committed 1 error so far here for the Vikings. That one will be out of the zone as well at 2-1. Grace Fletchock stands at first. Danica Rath looks in against Bussey. The 2-1 offering. That'll be in there at the knee for a strike at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes here in the top of the 11th. The 2-2. That'll be out of the zone. Works the count full at 3-2. Saw a full count against Natalie Fontaine in the top of the 10th inning. Here in the 11th, it's a full count here for Danica Rath. Rath looks into Bussey. The 3-2 pitch is scolded to right field, and that's going to get into right. Zark fields it, able to bring it back in, but that allows Fletchock to go to third. It's a first to third run for Fletchock. Bussey with a single, and the Squirrels are in business here in the top of the 11th inning. So for Central Cass, runners at the corners as now it's Aspen Preen will dig in as Sam Brandt wants to talk it over here with Danica Rath and her infield in terms of what they will do. A lot of times you might see a runner try to see if they can get that catcher to throw down to second, and there's some good wheels with Fletchock at third base to see if the Squirrels can possibly steal a run here. Regardless, it's runners at first and third for Central Cass with no outs in the top of the 11th inning. We'll play a bottom half of the 11th for sure. It's just now, will it be tied or will Central Cass have the advantage? Meat of the order again for Central Cass. Aspen Preen 1 of 4 today, but has worked the count full twice. Earned a single back in the 7th inning. As Fuchs is behind the plate, Danica Rath there in the circle. Ammerman at third with Rowland at short, Mauk at second, and Johnson at first. Central Cass Squirrels with their base runners at third base as Fletchock, and Bussey stands at first base here in the top of the 11th inning. As Danica Rath looks into Fuchsa. As Aspen Preen again trying to deliver the goods here for the Squirrels. First pitch swinging. This one is foul, and it'll be now 0-1. Danica Rath, again, 11 strikeouts so far, has yet to yield a free pass here for the Vikings. Oh, 1 pitch upcoming here, the Squirrels catcher. The pitch. This one is smashed, and that'll be to left, down for a base knock. The third consecutive hit, an inside-out swing for Aspen Preen, and Fletchock comes in to score. 3 straight singles here for the Vikings in the 11th inning, and they now take a 2-1 advantage. As Olivia Haugen will be coming up, 1 of 4 so far today. This one is hit on the ground, backhanded nicely by the catcher, Rath, and this one goes off the glove of Ammerman. Coming in to score is Bussey, making her way to third base is Aspen Preen, and just like that, the Squirrels have done it again, this time via the throwing error by Danica Rath. So Bussey comes in to score, Aspen Preen makes her way to third, and Haugen gets to second base. And now it's a 3-1 advantage here for Central Cass. So Preen gets the RBI to make it 2-1, and then via the error by Rath, it's now 3-1, and coming in to score is Bussey. And Natalie Fontaine, she will get a free pass here. So now the bases will be full of Squirrels. Trying to get the force out at home as Maddie Stieg will dig in. Three-1 Squirrels here on the top of the 11th, and now a chance to break it open, and this one is hit to center. Jordheim camps underneath it, gloves it. Here's the throw back in, sliding in safely, and everybody moves up 60 feet. Preen comes in to score. Haugen takes third. Fontaine takes second. It's a sacrifice fly by Maddie Stieg, and it's a 4-1 advantage here for Central Cass. One down now here in the 11th. As for Kindred-Richland, they might try to. So sacrifice fly here for Stieg. As that'll bring Preen in to make it now 4-1 with one out. Kindred-Richland might have thought that leaving early from third base there was Preen, but coming in to score regardless. And another first pitch swing as this one is hit to second base. There is Mauk, and everyone's going to stay put for the second out of the inning. So a pop out there to the second baseman. Now it's the 8th batter coming up here with Whitney Mitchell. Mitchell 2 for 5 with a pair of singles here today for Central Cass. Runner at second is Fontaine. Haugen sits at third. Squirrels lead it by 3 with 3 runs across so far in the top of the 11th inning. This one, nice job by Fuchsa. Able to glove it nicely in the dirt. It's now 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes here. The 1-0. That'll be up high out of the zone at 2-0. Runners in scoring position for the Squirrels. A 2-0 pitch is going to be hit in the air. That's going to be into right center field to Zarek. Underneath it, able to glove it to retire the side, but not before the Central Cass Squirrels get 3 consecutive hits. They get 3 runs on 3 hits. There was an error, and they leave it to a new score on our Bank North scoreboard as we head to the bottom of the 11th inning. It is a 4-1 advantage for Central Cass.
We believe sustainability is the foundation of our success. How well we perform as a steward of our environment, a safe operator of essential energy infrastructure, a good neighbor, and a diverse employer defines our success. Learn more about Enbridge's environmental, social, and governance commitments and our Indigenous Reconciliation Plan at enbridge.com.
Region 1 baseball here today in Kindred, and the Central Cass Squirrels have the 4-1 advantage here in the bottom of the 11th inning. And for the Kindred-Richland Vikings, they will be sending their 4, 5, and 6 batters in Cora Johnson, Danica Rath, and Brea Mauk to the plate here for the Vikings. Vikings trailing it by 3. They'll need 3 at least to get it to 12. Anything underneath that, the Squirrels will pick up the extra inning victory here today in Kindred. Johnson with a hitter's count now at 1-0 after Mitchell on for her 11th inning of work comes in the circle here for Central Cass. This one in there for a strike as well, as Whitney Mitchell has been able to do that a handful of times here today. 1 ball, 1 strike upcoming here. This one is going to be fouled. Now at 1-2. So Mitchell trying to see if she can get her 17th strikeout of the evening. Well, for the Vikings, trying to see if Johnson can get aboard. This one is fouled, and we'll keep it at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Third base is Stieg, Fletchock at short, Haugen at second, Bussey at first here for Central Cass. The 1-2, this one in for a strikeout, and that is the 17th punch out again in back-to-back Ks for Mitchell. Whitney Mitchell just taking a look at the last couple of batters that came up. The last 5 batters, 4 of them have been retired via the strikeout here in extra innings. Here's the pitch. This one is popped up, and that'll be out of play. Now at 0-1. Brea Mauk due up next in for the Vikings. Danica Rath today a sacrifice bunt in the 7th. 0 for 3 here for Kindred-Richland. The pitch in there at the knee for a strike at 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes here with 1 out. Bottom of the 11th inning in Kindred as Mitchell works ahead. That'll miss out of the zone. Good job by Danica not chasing. It's now 1-2. Here's the 1 ball, 2 strike as we get a time by Danica Rath. And the 1-2 pitch upcoming. This one in there for a strike, and Mitchell gets her 18th punch out. 2 down now, and the Vikings are down to their final out here with Mauk. Mauk 0 for 4 today with 2 strikeouts against Mitchell. And Whitney is 1 good pitch and 1 out away from Central Cass, trying to win this game in extras here in this Region 1 softball tournament. In this Region 1 regular season game before the Region 1 softball tournament next week on Saturday. This is popped up to the shortstop, and that'll do it. Fletchock loves it to retire this side. Mitchell in her last 3 innings with a 3-up, 3-down in the 9th, 10th, and the 11th in a contest that finishes in 2 hours and 23 minutes here today from Kindred. With the win for the Central Cass Squirrels, they improved to 7-1 on the season. With the loss for the Kindred-Richland Vikings, they will drop to 8, make that 7-2 in Region 1 play, 9-5 on the season. Central Cass, they improved to 8-4 on the season and 7-1 in Region 1 play. Winning pitcher will be Mitchell, picking up the win, while the losing pitcher will be Danica Rath. Mitchell able to go 11 innings of work, and in doing so, just 4 hits, a run across, 4 walks, and 18 strikeouts. Danica Rath also pitches 11 innings of work, 12 hits. There were 4 runs across, 0 walks, and 11 strikeouts here for Danica Rath. We'll come back on our Petro Stopping Center post-game show after this here on your liveevent.com.
Honesty, loyalty, integrity. At Bank North, we've remained true to these values for generations. They shape the way we do business, work with customers, and support our communities. We've been here for more than a century, helping people grow farms and businesses, finance homes, and pursue their dreams. It's values-based banking, and it's all about working together to strengthen the common threads that bind us together. Bank North, always true.
Not everyone can get Secret Service level protection, but with IRA Insurance you can. You see, we've got your back, protecting homes, vehicles, businesses, crops, and so much more. Ensuring you've got the protection you need and all your questions answered faster than you can say classified information. Get protected. Get IRA Insurance. Go to IRAinsurance.com for a free quote and consultation.
A final and extra innings here today in Kindred. Again, a final in 11 innings. The Central Cass Squirrels pick up the win 4-1 over the Kindred-Richland Vikings. Central Cass 4 runs, 10 hits, and error, and 9 runners left on base. For Kindred-Richland, there was 1 run, 4 hits, and error, and 8 runners left on base. Scoring summary here on part of our Petro Stopping Center's post-game show. Zimmerman able to come in with a pinch hit back in the 8th inning here for the Central Cass Squirrels, and then Thomas would come in to score. That was in the top half of the 8th. Bottom half of the 8th, Cord Johnson hit by a pitch with the bases loaded, tied things up at 1 apiece in the bottom of the 8th inning. Then we move all the way to the 11th before the next score. Aspen Preen, after a single by Fletchuk and a single by Bussey, Aspen Preen earned a single, an RBI variety, to bring in Grace Fletchuk. And then from there, you were able to come in to score via the error was Bussey, after putting one in play, was Olivia Haugen, and then a sacrifice fly by Maddie Stieg was able to bring in Aspen Preen to make it 4-1. That was your scoring on our Petro Stopping Center's post-game show. We go from there now to our Enbridge Energy Player of the Game. Well, for both pitchers, they pitched brilliantly here today, pitching all 11 innings. Whitney Mitchell, 11 innings of work, 4 hits, 1 run, 4 walks, 2 were intentional, with 18 strikeouts here today for Mitchell. While for Danica Rath, 11 innings of work, 12 hits. She had 4 runs, no walks, and 11 strikeouts in her own right. Those 2 players are our Enbridge Energy Players of the Game. When you can pitch the entirety, all 11 innings, and combine for 29 strikeouts here in this one. It's now time to get to our Arctic Enterprises feature precision play of the contest. Well, that was Aspen Preen with the go-ahead and game-winning hit, RBI base knock, and that was for Central Cass. Kindred-Richland's play of the game was the Leah Rowland sprawling double play, where she went kind of superwoman style, able to jump out in that one, make the double play. That was back in the 7th inning. Those 2 plays are Arctic Enterprises feature precision plays of the contest, with locations in Hillsboro. Have a safe spring planting season. Thank you for your business. Have a safe spring. Again, go to planterdoc.com. That again is planterdoc.com. This is our Petro Stopping Center's post-game show, taking a look ahead at for both of these teams. Back in action later this week as part of the Mid-Season Madness Tournament. The Central Cass Squirrels will be hosting the Hillsboro Central Valley Burros on Thursday. We'll have that game for you here on yourliveevent.com with Josh Boyko at 4:30. Then they got games with West Fargo, Horace, Velva, Drake, Anamoose, and Renville County, part of the Mid-Season Madness. While on the opposite side for the Kindred-Richland Vikings, they'll be back in action. That game will be upcoming against the Devils Lake Firebirds on Friday, part of the Mid-Season Madness. Then they'll have Renville County and Velva, Drake, Anamoose as well. We'll take one more break. When we come back after this, we'll put a bow on our post-game show, brought to you in part by Petro Stopping Centers here on yourliveevent.com.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in North Dakota because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Hungry and on the road, Petro Stopping Center in Fargo has got your back with an impressive lineup of goodies including Popeye's Chicken, Charlie's Cheesesteaks, Cinnabon, Papa John's, and a mouth-watering full-sized restaurant, the Dolly Down Grill. You'll be spoiled for choice. Whether you're a quick pit stopper or looking to settle in for a while, Petro Stopping Center's Fargo location has got you covered 24/7 every day of the week. Cruise on over to their spot just off 45th Street and I-94 and indulge in a feast fit for the road warrior in you.
Again, on our Petro Stopping Center post-game show, let's just take a look at what was the difference a little bit in the extra innings, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th innings. For Whitney Mitchell, gave up the one run. Again, that was in the 8th inning. Then a 3-up, 3-down, 9th, 10th, and 11th. While on the opposite side for Dakota, gave up the run in the 8th inning. Had to face 4 batters in the 9th, 5 batters in the 10th, and eventually 8 batters in the 11th, which was really the difference with those 3 consecutive singles and then the error that just kind of put a little bit more over the hump as the Squirrels were able to score 3 runs in the 11th inning. A contest that goes 2 hours and 23 minutes again here today in Kindred. That does it for our Petro Stopping Center's post-game show. Go to Petro Stopping Center just off 45th Street and I-94 in Fargo. They got the VIP treatment, your one-stop travel hub for all of your road trip requirements. On behalf of all of our sponsors, on behalf of Scott Costin, alongside with with Sam Brent, with the Kindred-Richland Vikings, thanks so much for tuning in to our broadcast today here in Kindred. And join us for more high school coverage throughout the week on yourliveevent.com. Again, that does it for our Petro Stopping Center's post-game show. The Squirrels win it in 11 innings, 4-1. Whitney Mitchell picks up the win. Dakota picks up the loss here today in Kindred for Region 1 softball.